What's going on with you this morning?
I was all over this morning, Dan. What's up, man? I was in the town, got back into the city. There was this costume dance party down Mission Street. You know, you got to thank me for being here today because I decided to call it early. And I got to tell you, I know New York City, of a place in which you know well, is the place they call the city that never sleeps. But I got to say, San Francisco showed up and showed out last night. As I was walking home in a costume that does have something to do with what's on my face right now, and by that I mean a handlebar mustache. As I was walking home, everyone was headed out. They were headed out with their significant others. They were headed out with their groups. They were headed out with beatboxes. They were headed out with bottles. And Dan, you know what? I called it earlier last night. So I'm happy to be here, but I was everywhere last night.
Way to take one for the team. So hey, do you know Pasta? By the way, let's bring in our fabulous producer, Pasta. Pasta, do you know what his costume was last night, or should we guess he's got the Fu Manchu going here?
I was thinking like some guy who's just on a motorcycle, like in one of those motorcycle clubs.
Like
That's all
Easy
I could
Rider?
think of. Maybe who's the guy that had the tigers on the Netflix show, Tiger King?
Oh, could be that guy.
Joe
I
forget his name.
There's a pitcher back in the day by the name of Rich Gossage, Goose Gossage, the original closer. Used to rock a Fu Manchu like that. So
any member of the 1970s Oakland Athletics?
That's true.
Well, I guess I would have cut it off early and twirled it. But, you know, the thing about it is...
What, are you going to tell us who you were?
Yes. Well, I don't know if you've seen the movie, though.
Okay.
It was a pretty popular one from this year, but One Battle After Another. It's the new Leo DiCaprio movie. And in the movie, he plays this revolutionary who gets involved in the larger theme is about immigration and illegal immigration. And this revolutionary is trying to break people out at the beginning of the movie. Anyways, as they move through the movie, he keeps his facial hair, but he also dons a bathrobe for pretty much the entire movie.
That's a good look.
And at one point, as he's trying to run from the cops, he's kind of this delirious. He's really paranoid. He's also a bit of a stoner. But in one point through the movie, he runs into this gas station and grabs these, you know, those blinder glasses that you're supposed to put over other sunglasses? Yeah. So he grabs those, throws those on with a beanie. And everyone thought I was just a San Francisco resident. But he is, in fact, a revolutionary character and one of my favorite from this year. So it's a pretty damn good movie. And it's the new DiCaprio.
Did anyone pick it out? Did anybody recognize you?
A couple people. Yeah. Actually, I ended up being a costume judge at the place we went. So we roll into this place in Oakland, Pizza Iolo, and I'm there with a couple friends, had a great time. Shout out to Pete and Emma and Tim and Ryan. And we're sitting down there as they're playing, I think it was Nosferatu on the screen, some scary vampire flick. And in the middle of our conversation, we're hanging out, having a few. Someone gets up on a big box and says, "Who wants to be a judge?" And I'm looking around and there's crickets. And so I just raise my hand. I'm like, you know what? I'll be a judge. Sure. What am I judging? And they go, "This is a Halloween costume contest. Get up here." So I sit down there with 4 people, and it wasn't like 5 people, 10 people. It was probably 50 people that participated in this costume contest, of which it was pretty impressive. Everybody was sauced up. Everybody was doing conga lines and rolling down. And I'm sitting there like, how am I supposed to judge 50 people? I could barely keep track of 5.
So who eventually was the winner?
The winner was this couple. They dressed up as the Mad Hatter and Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, good call.
It was pretty impressive. And it was like homemade stuff. Took a big top hat but did it up. They had the stockings and the shoes and all. So
is there a cane involved?
For the Mad Hatter, yes, I believe so. So that was number 1. That was one of the easier ones. Then there was like a Teletubby. That was kind of cool. People dressed up as the Wizard of Oz characters, so the Lion, the Bear, and the Tin Man. So there's a lot of pretty good ones. But I dressed up as a guy and everyone thought I was homeless.
San Francisco does Halloween well. They always have. Historically, they do Halloween very, very well. And so I'm not surprised. One quick anecdote. I didn't want to start here, but you mentioned something, so we got to get right into the Dan Devone files without any hesitation. This was back in the day in Los Angeles where I wasn't a big Halloween person, but me and a friend happened to be at the Mondrian. This is when I was like you, rolling hard, single guy, going nuts in L.A. Hey. And we were at the pool that day. And if anybody knows anything about West Hollywood and the Mondrian Hotel and the pool there, it's kind of the who's who A lot of sort of celebrities hanging out there. Beautiful view of Los Angeles up on the hills there. And so I'm hanging out at the pool, and there was this music producer says, I want to invite you guys to the party. It's up in the Hollywood Hills. You guys are invited, but you will not get in unless you have a costume. And I'm not joking about that. You guys need to have a costume. So I look at my buddy, and the thing started in a couple hours. Like, dude, what are we going to do? We don't have any costumes. So at the Mondrian, they give you a robe, right? As most nice 5-star hotels want to do. So what did we do? Looked at each other. We just threw on the robe and the little bath slippers, and then we went to this party. But the funniest moment, this is actually, I don't know how prevalent Uber was. It was pre-Uber, actually. And there we were on West Sunset trying to flag down a cab, sunset hours, in our robe and slippers trying to get to the Hollywood Hills. So very good time had by all. Who did I see? Oh, Brooke Burke. Do you remember Brooke Burke?
So you dressed up as the dude,
I
basically?
dressed up, basically, I went Hugh Hefner, which back in the day, if you had a smoking pipe and a robe, you were the king of Playboy.
Well, and for those who don't know, you've been to the Playboy Mansion, no?
I have.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to tell that story, but...
Nah, underrated.
Yeah. Underrated?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard that one. Underrated place, the Playboy Mansion. Well, anyways, the whole point, it was a great night had by all. And you're right, Halloween is, I think it's one of the more underrated, speaking of, holidays. Like, I think people are in or out on it, but I haven't really dressed up a whole lot the last couple of years. But anytime you do, if you lean into it, you could have a lot of fun.
Pasta, did you dress up last night? Are you too old for this?
I did not. No, Halloween kind of just faded away, unfortunately, as I got older. But I think my last
As you got older, he's 14.
Well, Adrian didn't want to do a couples thing?
No. Last year, I was like Mountain Mike or something, or Magic Mike or something.
Pizza guy?
I don't know.
Or the stripper?
Magic Mike. Sorry, not Mountain Mike. Mountain Mike is the pizza guy.
Yes.
But I mean, I would put on a jersey maybe. Like, if I was going to do something, I had a Bobby Boucher jersey that I was going to put on. And I had like water bottles.
As long as it ain't a Dodgers jersey tonight.
Oh, by the way, speaking of the Dodgers and the Blue Jays at Game 7 tonight, we all know, I know who our man who is not here today, Caddy Zach, dressed up as. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Alejandro Kirk. I saw it, so I don't follow the Blue Jays. I don't follow the Blue Jays.
That's pretty good.
As closely as you guys. Like,
That's pretty good.
That's one of those World Series things.
Oh.
I know Guerrero and I know Bo Bichette. By the way, Pasta. We've got Mitch from New Jersey on line too, Bo Bichette.
Maybe soon.
Yeah.
I thought that was your cue to give us.
Yeah, Boba Shett, a good player. Got him free agency.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good player. Dressed up as.
Thanks for taking my call.
Alejandro Kirk.
So I see Alejandro Kirk, who I haven't never seen before. Miss him. And he hits a bomb in Game 2. And like, holy crap. Our producer, Caddy Zach, just hit a home run in the World Series.
There is nothing, like, this is honestly one of the reasons why I love baseball. Like, football is great. There are, some rotund characters, especially at various positions. But, like, you can kind of peg each guy's build based on what they play. In basketball, there are taller, smaller, not necessarily wider play. Baseball is the one sport where people can fall in love with plump position players. Every other sport, those guys have kind of been phased out. Like, and we're going to talk Warriors in a little bit. One of the reasons why you won't see it now in 2025, you see how much cardio these guys are getting in?
Oh, God.
Like, you got to be in ridiculous shape to get up and down the hardwood. So, Alejandro Kirk is a player from yesteryear and someone that needs to be hoisted into an upper echelon. He needs to be saved. He needs to be cherished, and apparently he needs to be Caddy Zach.
Boy, that dude can just flat out mash, by the way. All right, let's get into the Golden State Warriors and the week that was. Your thoughts on a week that started out with the back-to-back. First of all, they take care of Memphis at home, blow out the Grizz. I do want to get into that game and talk a little Draymond. My God.
Well, your boy didn't even play.
Oh,
I just want to go home.
No, big Canada.
No, but he went after Salty Adama, another international guy. Of course, it was Zach Edey last year, but this time it's Salty Aldama, which we'll talk about. But they blow out Memphis. Then in the back-to-back, they take care of the Los Angeles Clippers. Another impressive win. The Clippers who've had their number. 7-0 the Clippers have been against the Golden State Warriors, including bouncing them out of the playoffs a year ago in the last regular season game. and then conclude things with a stinker where they look crickety again on the road against Milwaukee. Your take on the week that was?
I mean, I think it kind of reflected the first week too, right? It's in a little, in kind of a strange fashion. It was just a
substitute
repeat.
Milwaukee for Portland.
Exactly. But without Giannis, and I know that's the wrinkle in all of this, right? Without Giannis, they kind of looked like Portland, who, by the way, ain't bad. I think they had another nice win last night. They beat somebody that wasn't awful. Oh, they beat Denver. Yeah, they beat Denver last night. So I think that week was one that, like, whenever they play back-to-backs, by the way, they got another back-to-back coming up Tuesday, Wednesday. You can almost like pencil in, I don't know if it's a letdown game, not necessarily a loss, but to me, that was uglier than the Portland game, but on the heels of Memphis and LA, like, I think the Clippers are going to be better than what they showed, obviously. Memphis might be a bottom four team in the West. Like, that team's not going to be good this year. I just don't think they make sense, and they're really banged up. But those are the games they got to get. So I think that week one, you had the impressive win against Denver. Week two was an example of if they can take care of business against those teams that they're supposed to. And I know people might say the Bucks are that, but to me, like, the Bucks are a team that has the prototype of characters and players that are going to give the Warriors fits. Younger, faster, more athletic, combined with the fact you're playing the 6th and 10 days, 3rd and 5 nights, whatever you want to call it. Steve Kerr keeps throwing these numbers out. I think that week two mirrored week one and is helping us get to know this team a bit better.
Yeah, the record in Adam Silver didn't do the Warriors any favors because it's going to get even worse.
Yeah.
When they embark on that 6-game road trip after they come home. First of all, going out to the Midwest for 2 games is really sort of strange in and of itself. Milwaukee and then Indiana. Because you got to drive to Indiana. There's no direct flights from Milwaukee to Indiana, which is really
They take a bus?
Yeah, they have to. There are no direct flights Milwaukee to Indiana. Everybody's got to, the media, everyone's just got to climb in a car. Or it's kind of like the old WWE days. We used to, on Monday night, we'd do Monday Night Raw, and then we'd have to get in a car and then travel to our next destination for the Thursday night show. Anyways, I digress. But just getting back to, is this excuse plausible at all that just before tip, they find out Giannis is not playing? And this has happened to the Warriors. This isn't just isolated to Giannis, a late scratch, but this has happened over the last couple of years where a superstar player isn't playing, and for whatever reason, all the air goes out of the room. And it's almost as though the Warriors are like, all right, let's just mail this thing in. And then they're like, with 6 minutes to go, and they find themselves down 10, they're like, all right, let's play. Let's try, and you guys ready to go? Let's salvage a win. And as we all know, look, it's an NBA professional team, even without Giannis, and it's too little too late. But anything to the fact that Giannis not being there, that they weren't ready mentally and physically to play that basketball game?
I kind of buy it, I kind of don't. Like, with all due respect, I think that was a game that the Warriors were going to have trouble. And you could just see it. Like, those guys were in better shape, were more locked in. And I do think that some of that is, all right, Giannis isn't here. It's my time to go to get mine. The Ryan Rollins game, which we can talk about. It's my time, right? Giannis doesn't need all those touches. And by the way, he's been averaging like 36 and 14. The guy's been unbelievable.
He's amazing this year.
He might be better than Wemby, which is saying something. But did they not play a LeBron-less Lakers team and absolutely handle them? Did they not play? But
I guess the difference would be there is that you knew LeBron wasn't going to play.
True, but if Luka was a late scratch in that game, they still would have beat LA. Like, I get that the star goes out and you take your foot off the gas pedal a little bit, but to me, that was just a game I think they were going to have trouble because of the fatigue, the schedule, and the style of play that Milwaukee plays. Like, this isn't the Bucks have been an old team for the last couple of years. And I think last year they actually came into the league as the oldest team in basketball because they still had Middleton, they had Brook Lopez, they had Holiday, or pardon me, not Holiday, another older guard.
Well, Dame Lillard.
Lillard, that's right, sorry. So they were old. And this year they decided, all right, we might not be as good, but Giannis is going to keep us competitive, and we're just going to put the ball in the hands of a lot of these young guys, get some run, and get up and down the floor. So I think, again, you saw it against Portland. Like, those are the kinds of teams. I think the Warriors can beat them, but they're going to struggle in those kinds of games.
Yeah, I think that this is just, we talked about this last week. It's sort of a microcosm of the entire season, that the Warriors, when they're ready to go, optimal level, well-rested, focused on a team, they have a chance of beating anybody. And when I say anybody, I do mean anybody, including OKC. The question just becomes, as you go through the course of this season, where are they at when you get down to the most important part of the campaign, that being the playoffs? Who's available? Who still has their legs? Speaking of Milwaukee, I always praise Mike Dunleavy because he's done such an amazing job, especially in the second round in the 50s, 3 consecutive years, starting with Trace Jackson Davis, then, of course, Quentin Post, and this year it looks like he struck gold again with Will Richard. But you know what the first move is that he made as the GM of the Golden State Warriors?
Tell me.
The first trade is when he unloaded PBJ, one Jordan Poole, and let's just throw in Ryan Rollins off to Washington for Chris Paul. Not to mention, he gave up a 27 first-round pick and a 2030 first-round pick for Chris Paul. So while Dunleavy, I think when you look at the total body of work, he's been amazing. But that and Dennis Schroeder, I think, are a couple of hiccups as you look back in retrospect.
Well, can you kill him for the Ryan Rollins? I mean, I
liked Ryan Rollins, and I was one of the few guys like, that guy can play.
Well, you think everybody can play. No, and to be fair, though, like everybody in the NBA can play. I think it's a matter of opportunity and really getting a little bit of run. Like Ryan Rollins, he went to Toledo. He was the 44th overall pick. I think what we should do now is the Warriors clearly have found guys in the second round, just hoard second-round picks.
Yeah.
Just hoard them all. You can find guys to kind of piece together teams. But this is the other thing, too. He didn't just get traded by the Warriors. He got waived by the Washington Wizards. And that's a team where you should be able to play. Yeah. You should be able to get on the floor. So he was also a two-way contract by Milwaukee. Like, this wasn't a guy that just got picked up and they said he's going to play for us. But to me, that's a classic example where you just got to give Ryan Rollins credit. Like last year, he played a little bit for Milwaukee, got into their rotation, but he averaged 6 points a game. And now after that 32-point performance, which was his career high, and look, he looked like the best player on the floor. He's averaging 18 and a half. Like, it sucks that he was just a throwaway guy in this deal. But I also believe that kind of everybody gave up on this dude. And the only reason that he's playing for Milwaukee is because they absolutely need him to. And you just got to tip your cap. He looks legit. He ain't bad.
He looks legit. Here's the one thing that maybe people don't know about him. When he was in Washington, did you hear about this? And I hate doing this to the guy because he seems like a nice guy and we should be throwing him his roses because he's a budding star in the NBA. He is a bit of a klepto. He got popped.
Oh, that's right.
Did you hear about this? At Target in D.C.,
yeah,
7 different times for stealing like a toothbrush. I believe he stole a candle. He stole like body wash. And he got popped 7 different times at a Target in D.C. It's one of the most unusual things. I think it might be a cry for help. You know, when I was doing sports in Seattle, one of the main anchors, and I mean, she was the highest paid anchor until I came to town. Her name was Jean Anderson. She was a legend. All right? Think of iconic anchors who have been in the city forever.
She had sticky hands?
She used to go to Nordstrom's. And it was legendary. There was video of it. And just like, what are you doing here? Winona Ryder. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Winona Ryder.
Oh, baby.
Actress back in the day.
Oh, Stranger Things, too.
Apparently, Stranger Things, too?
Yeah.
Apparently had, a similar sort of problem. But, okay,
there's one, I guess Winona Ryder's pretty notable. It sounds like this TV anchor is someone that you'd be able to spot. Ryan Rollins is 6'5". Like, how are you not going to spot this guy shoplifting at Target? That's for one. Secondly, Dan, I don't know if there's any correlation. This might be a cheap shot, but he's averaging 2.5 steals a game.
Wow.
He's got good hands.
Rim shot somebody?
He's got good hands. I'll give him that. But you're right. It's like, what are you doing?
Well,
I guess it kind of bleeds into our conversation from last week about the whole gambling thing. It's like, why are you getting wrapped up in prop bets when you're making $100 million? It's like, Ryan Rollins is in a different situation because he was on a 2-way contract and maybe he felt like he didn't want to pay for a toothbrush.
What could be the fallout of this? We all know how much the NBA likes to gamble. Like, you can't get on a charter flight for an NBA basketball team and not see a poker game or somebody playing dominoes for money, I wouldn't be surprised if there becomes some sort of a mandate and edict that they outlaw it altogether. Because you see some of the stuff that's fallen out from Terry Rozier, like the liens that was put on his house. This dude has a gambling problem, man. And Chauncey Billups, there's stories about him while he was the coach of the Denver Nuggets, with the Portland Trail Blazers, where he was seen at, like, you ever seen some of these B actors like The Sopranos, and they'll have or Comic-Con, where you'll see like these B actors will go to these events, these collectors, like baseball trading card collecting events, and you'll see these actors that'll sit there and they'll sign autographs or they'll do things to shill for money because they'll still get paid. They're like, oh yeah, I remember you. There's a lot of talk that Chauncey Billups, while still being a prominent NBA coach, was going to a lot of these things. Because the dude, I don't know this is a fact, but I think he needed money. And the same with Terry Rozier. A lot of these guys, I think they develop gambling addictions. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that is sort of the dark underbelly of the NBA, because it's so prevalent in social circles within the NBA, whether it's at flights or whether it's in hotels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's just an NBA problem. I think it's a problem with athletes, and I think it's guys that are just used to this. Like when you play at that level, I have to imagine there's a rush that your body is just kind of accustomed to all the time. And for some of these dudes, gambling is probably another way just to reactivate it, to activate that rush. It's like you're always competing, you're always trying to win. And gambling is just another outlet to do it off the floor. I know, that's why a lot of players play video games. Like, Gordon Hayward is a massive gamer. I know Joel Embiid had I think a sponsorship with Xbox. Ant Edwards plays a lot of video games. And one of the reasons is because, then you don't get out into some of those nightlife issues that can get you in trouble. But also, too, you just want to win all the time.
That's a good point.
And Gordon Hayward has talked about how a lot of players find some outlet for a healthier outlet for their competitive, not addiction, but just kind of affinity by going online and taking it out in Call of Duty on a bunch of these 8-year-olds that are, they're talking trash to. So it's much easier, I think, to pour it into Call of Duty or Rocket League or whatever the games these people are playing nowadays. That's a much better alternative than saying, you know what, I'm splitting sixes tonight. You know what I mean? A much healthier way of doing things.
Never split sixes. Maybe eights, not sixes.
Well, yeah, but
You know who's getting linked to this slowly? Sort of the background guy in all of this.
Well, have you been reading about the co-conspirators? Some of these descriptions?
Well, maybe we're talking about one and the same. Ty Lue is somebody that is slowly getting dragged into this. And you know who's on him now? And as a professional athlete, you do not want this guy sniffing in your dirty garbage. Pablo Torre is now beginning to walk down, Ty Lue. And that ain't a good thing, man. Because that guy will hunt and hunt until he gets a story.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Pablo better be careful. Pablo Torre is one of the, I think,
you better be careful,
emerging and real. And I think he should be applauded because he's doing real journalism, especially investigative journalism. Dude, he's putting his fingerprints on some stuff where it don't belong. And I think a lot of people are starting to look at this guy like, who are you talking to? And I think it's also ironic that it seems to all be around the Clippers. The Clippers are a team that is a little dysfunctional, a little toxic, and maybe perhaps a bit shady.
The text line really quick is going, Chris Washburn. I don't know if you guys remember Chris Washburn. I want to say he was like the number 2 pick back in the day with the Warriors. And he was also arrested for stealing. But he was homeless at one point. And the guy had a drug addiction. This is sort of the really dark side of the NBA. And this is not, it has a completely different story when we talk about Ryan Rollins. But do you remember Delonte West?
Oh, yeah.
And obviously ran into some difficulties with drugs and also, I believe, was homeless. And one of the true characters in the NBA.
Ask LeBron.
Well, yeah. That's his mom, right? James. He was in Seattle for a little bit, and maybe one of the funniest, just absolutely did not care. There was a story about him where the coach I was friends with Nick Collison, and Nick would tell me, he's like, this guy Delonte West is so absolutely refreshing and funny and not very smart at the same time. Like, the coach will give us film on tape who we need to study for the upcoming game, who our matchup's going to be. And then in a meeting, he'll say, okay, tell us about who it is that you're going to match up today. Kawhi Leonard, what are his tendencies? And so they called on Delonte to talk about his matchup. And he's in the room, in the classroom, and all the coaches are there. And he starts to, this player likes to, you know what, Coach, I didn't watch the film. I don't know. I'm not doing it justice. It was pretty funny at the time. But Delonte West reference, we're getting way off track. Let's get back into the Golden State Warriors. Are going to take on the Indiana Pacers. And I do want to talk about, I want to get into a little Draymond Green. I also want to talk about the schedule, because the upcoming schedule, my God, man. I mean, it's daunting. It's already been daunting. But we'll talk about that and much more. It is Evan Giddings. It's Dan Devone. It's Pasta. And Alejandro Kirk is where, Pasta?
He's in Brooklyn.
Perfect. We'll see you after the break.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Tune in for Warriors Live today, presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage. Brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in the Bay Area. And our more than 110 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Can you hear your inner strength? Maybe not. It's too loud out there. Try stepping inside the Toyota Camry and experience its sleek design, remarkable efficiency, and technology that makes every drive feel effortlessly smart. There it is, your inner strength. Unleash it with the Toyota Camry. Smoother and more captivating than ever. Toyota, let's go places. Visit toyota.com for details.
Hey, it's Jonas Knox with some big news. The best 5G network wants you to bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill, and they'll give you a better deal. If you think Verizon is expensive, well, think again. Not only does Verizon let you lock in your low price for 3 years, everyone in the family can mix and match their plans with My Plan. And they let everyone get the same great phone deals when they trade in an eligible phone in any condition on My Plan. That means new and existing customers. That's more reasons to save, more reasons to switch. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to your local Verizon store, and they'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on RootMetrics Root Score report dated first half 2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. 3-year price lock applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms apply to promotional offers.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game this Monday for Monster Mondays, where they discuss the red and gold, how they played, and where they're heading for the next game. Presented by Merit America. Visit them at meritamerica.org/super.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course. And it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Join Spadoni, Shasky, Steiny, Guru, Willard, and Dibbs for the Blue and Gold Summit live at Jackson Pleasant Hill Thursday, November 6th. Willard and Dibbs from 2 to 4, the Summit 4 to 6. Talk hoops, grab a drink, and enjoy happy hour specials only at Jackson Pleasant Hill on November 6th. Don't miss it.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Evan Giddings and Dan Avone talking Warriors basketball. Warriors got the Indiana Pacers coming up today after a very strange sort of road swing where they got to go out to the Midwest for 2 games. Losers to Milwaukee, trying to right the ship tonight against the Indiana Pacers, who are just not very good this year. The Pacers, without Therese Halliburton, are exposed, and they have been very, very bad in the early portions of the campaign. I think they'll be better than they have been. By the way, you want proof that we're early into this NBA season and what people just need to relax, okay, before we start talking about who's the MVP and who's the Rookie of the Year.
Why?
You want a perfect indicator? You know who's leading the Eastern Conference right now?
The Sixers?
The Sixers are undefeated, and the Chicago Bulls.
Dude, Bulls ain't bad.
Come on.
All right.
We're not going Josh Giddey this early in the morning.
No, it's not really about Giddey. That team, did you have a chance to watch any of the game yesterday against the Knicks?
I didn't.
Their bench is a lot better than people. Like, Ayo Dosunmu is a good player. They got some guys coming off the pine that keep them at a certain level.
And Kobe White's hurt, I want to say.
Yeah, he's not even playing.
Yeah.
I mean, do I think they're going to win 82 games? No. But that's a team that, again, I think it kind of, at this stage in the season, Dan, to me, and why the Warriors are also a little bit ahead too, the teams that have built-in chemistry and already an understanding of how they want to play are innately going to be further along than the teams that are still figuring it out. Like, the Warriors have beaten the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, and the Clippers. All 4 of those teams, for either injuries or roster construction purposes, are still figuring out who they are. Like, even, I know Denver is a good team, but they're still trying to figure out how Cam Johnson fits in, how their bench is going to look, how they're not having to rely on so many young guys like they did last year. They're still trying to figure out how to fit. So I think the fact that the Warriors have been ahead of the curve because of what they were able to build on from last season puts them in a position early in the year to win a lot of games. I would also say the same for a team like the Chicago Bulls. I can't speak for the Sixers. I mean, they got that backcourt that looks really good with Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, who's playing out of his mind. But I think that's why you're seeing some of these teams at the top of the table, and you're like, they're 4-2, they're 5-1, you know, that sort of thing.
Buzelis, is that his name?
Yep,
he's a player.
Mateus Buzelis.
Yeah,
that's also
go.
Another guy. Like, so Rollins, Buzelis, and I forget who the third is, but those guys are like top of the leaderboards right now for most improved player of the year.
Speaking of, it's early, all right, and I shouldn't fall victim to this, but I mean, before we give that Rookie of the Year award to Cooper Flagg, like everybody's like, yeah, it's Cooper's. There's a VJ last name Edgecombe out in Philadelphia that might have something to say about this.
Yeah, the edge, the betting edge.
Not to mention, because you talk about Philadelphia being undefeated, that backcourt, Maxey's just, and the thing about Maxey, like maybe there's Austin Reeves' little run, which has been crazy, Like, that's not going to be sustainable, especially when Luka comes back. But this could be the real Maxey. Like, this, he may have graduated to a whole nother level.
Yeah, if I'm the Sixers, I'm telling Paul George, just keep your paycheck and sit down. I mean, don't mess with a good thing. And Embiid's playing a little bit. I know he's not playing every single game and he's not getting his full allotment of minutes. But you're right. Like, I know that Edgecombe is the trendy new thing and the shiny new toy because he's a rookie and he's played really well. Maxey's the story. Like, Maxey is playing out of his mind. He's averaging 35 and 9. And Austin Reeves, meanwhile, is a bit of a product of not having the stars there. Like you saw when Luka came back last night and had a 40-burger, like Reeves is, the secondary option. But Maxey is Maxey's the kind of guy that a couple of years ago when we were tossing around during the dark times, like, would you trade this guy? Would you trade for that guy? That's the dude that I feel like everybody around the league was like, could we get him from the Sixers? Like, no one knows what they're trying to do there by combining all these old, broken stars together. Can we get Maxey? And no, you can't, because that guy's incredible.
You see, we talked about Austin Reeves, who dropped a 50-burger, then went for 41. He's in a contract year.
He's leading the league in assists, by the way.
You know, when I see him play and go off like that, it's just, I know we should leave it alone and move on, but it goes back to the Luka Doncic trade. Like, how the hell, Nico, could you not ask for Austin Reeves? All right? You're trading Luka Doncic. And that's the thing that gets me about the trade. There should have been a list of like 10 dudes who are like, this is who we need and you can have Luka. If not, okay, we're moving on to the next guy. Like, Austin Reeves, especially for a team like Dallas, that needs a point. They got poor Cooper Flagg playing the point because they lost Kyrie. They got D. Russ. I mean, it's like, it's a joke out there. You need a point guard. Austin Reeves could have easily been thrown into that package. So I'm sorry, but knives are still out when it comes to Nico Harrison, especially when Austin Reeves is doing what it is that he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, they got bailed out by getting the number one pick, but that wasn't the plan. The plan was to acquire someone like Anthony Davis and make the playoffs and be a championship contender, which obviously did not happen. You had to get Reeves or picks, and you didn't get either. I mean, yeah, sure. AD is a good player. By the way, calf strain, going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, you can set your watch to that.
That's what I'm saying. Classic Davis. And then all you got was Max Christie in first. Like, that is one of the most perplexing trades of all time. And I realize that Luka Doncic has his deficiencies, particularly on the defensive side of the floor. And if we're just talking basketball, I think him and Reeves are going to struggle in that department together. But, like, Reeves is really freaking good, man. I don't know about 50 ball good because there's no one else to basically give the ball to. But then he also goes and hits a game winner against the Timberwolves a couple nights later on a bad shooting night. And this was actually a stat I saw the other day. I promise we're going to get into the Warriors, but Austin Reeves has 93 drives this year. The only player shooting a better percentage on drives this season with 90 or more is Giannis. So it's not like Reeves is just shooting the heck out of the ball. Like, this guy can get to the cup, too. And with Doncic, with LeBron eventually coming back, I think sometime later this week or next week, I know the Lakers aren't a team that anybody looks at and says, like, they're, just going to be in the mix, but they got potential, for sure.
He also did it against really good defenders. Like, he was matched up with Kamara when he went off. The big ragu, Dante DiVincenzo, he went off and got that game winner against him. I mean, did you hear LeBron this past week?
Is he finally talking about someone other than himself?
Yeah, he's like, I got the two baddest white boys in the NBA.
What is Reeves? What is his nickname? Not the AR-15 thing. It's like something having to do with a hick or something. Because he's from Arkansas.
Oh, he's straight up.
The guy's southern as hell.
Yeah. He's an extra from the movie Deliverance. Those of you that remember that.
Hillbilly Kobe.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Hillbilly Kobe. 888-957-9570. 888-957-9570. Every time I do that, I giggle, Pasta, because he does this bad, very bad impersonation of me.
888-957-9570.
Whatever. Scott's hanging out.
Oh, he was doing his Devon impression earlier this week, by the way.
Scott's in Berkeley. Scott, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Fantastic. What's up, Scotty?
Not much. I wanted the thing about talking about the Warriors after the first 10 days of the season is that it's the first 10 days of the season. I kept thinking, okay, so last year they started off 12-3, and then they had the two months where at the end of the 2 months they looked closer to being, hitting the lottery than, hitting the play-in. And I kind of am going, yes, there's been a lot of things that have gone right. The age issue with the team is going to weigh in. We know that Horford's going to sit on the second of back-to-backs and everything else. And it's kind of like, okay, give me 20 to 25. Things have looked good. Getting lit up by Ryan Rollins on Thursday night, that happens. So I'm kind of going, okay, this is still good. We're still in a good place. The good thing is they've beaten both, insofar as the division, they've beaten both the Clippers and the Lakers, so we can be happy with that. Now, as for the first block and weighing in about the gambling, one of my teachers at Maryland was named Neil Isaacs, who was an English teacher who also was a psychiatrist whose primary practice was working with recidivist gamblers. And he was a really, really, really long time observer of the NBA. And one of the things I can imagine, he passed away last December, and I can imagine us having a conversation, and he would probably openly say about a lot of this, the problem is the league has always had gambling around it. The problem is when they have a major breakout, such as Donaghy 20 years ago, the Philadelphia New York game in '74, the league kind of just will, handle the surface issue, but they won't go deeper. And I suppose it's the thing of saying handle the immediate subject, but not deal with the lower issues, because there are people I have known, aside from Neil, who have told me that back in the late 50s and the early 60s, that Jack Molinas was close with a lot of people in the NBA, aside from, his involvement in getting Connie Hawkins and Roger Brown suspended. But the league doesn't want to deal with this. It'll deal. Let's be blunt about this. Terry Rozier is going to get banned. Chauncey is probably going to get banned unless somehow when this goes to criminal court, he ends up flipping and it saves him and he may get a couple of years and then pop back in at some point. But you can talk about the players being overly competitive, but the league has avoided this problem for a long time. And in improper ways, because you go back to Donaghy. Remember, when Donaghy got arrested and got put away, there were a lot of people openly saying, "Well, he wasn't the only referee," and we can think of the immediate name of the other referee that a lot of people were talking about. I won't say it here.
All right, Scott. Thanks so much.
Gotcha, Scott.
Yeah, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. But he makes a lot of good points. And I think it's not only relegated to basketball, but to your point, when you're talking about competitive people, it's something that's in the DNA pool, and you need to sort of satisfy that, quench that thirst, if you will. Heck, go back to the Black Sox scandal, way back in the day. Shoeless Joe Jackson was banned from the sport throughout the NFL. George Belanda once was penalized for gambling. And so it's always been there. I think that the difference being is that when the money gets to this level and players are making this much money and squandering, Terry Rozier squandering fortunes. Do you know how much you have to gamble to blow through like $10 million? That's where it really gets scary, because you're making so much money, but you're treating it as though it's monopoly, right? And it's not so much, I don't even know if it's about winning. I'm sure it is, But again, I think it's to your point, it's feeding that rush.
Yeah, I think it's a drug. I mean, gambling is an addiction. And I think it's interesting that every single Tuesday on Peacock or NBC, the new package that they got in the NBA, they have a halftime conversation with maybe the most notorious gambler among the greats, Michael Jordan. Every single Tuesday, we see a guy that everyone considers either the greatest or one of the greatest of all time. The guy had a gambling problem. Like, now, he didn't gamble on his team, as far as we know, and I think that's the issue. Like, this is not a problem that's going away. It's only going to get worse. I mean, heck, when and eventually sports gambling gets passed in California, it's going to open up the floodgates. Like, people don't do it here because they can't. That's the only thing that prevents people, in my opinion, from diving or dipping into the gambling waters when it comes to sports, is because they can't do it. But if they could, everyone would. The biggest issue is that they're messing with the brand of the league by involving themselves in direct gambling with themselves, with their teammates, with their teams. And so people have this idea that, well, sports gambling is first, competition is second. And that can't be the case. So I think that it's prominent, it's put in our face, everyone does it. Hell, I'll probably put a bet down on the World Series tonight because I'm interested in it. I want to watch. And I want that rush. But if you're a player, you just cannot do it. And that's where I think, to your point about like the Black Sox scandal, I do think that we might be somewhere, we might be approaching the death type penalty for some of these players, because that's the only way that you can send a message of this does not belong in our league. Someone has got to get excommunicated effectively from the NBA. I think otherwise people are just going to stop. People aren't going to stop.
If you are gambling, by the way, and you're playing the Golden State Warriors, can I give you a lock? This is terrible because I'm feeding the beast. No, not tonight.
They're like 10.5.
I don't even, this line might get crazy, but they got a back-to-back next week.
Yeah, Phoenix and Sac.
Well, no, Phoenix and Sac is okay. I mean, that's a back-to-back, but they go back-to-back OKC. The next night they got San Antonio. Whatever that line is in San Antonio, I suggest you play the Spurs hard. There's no that is one of those scheduled losses. You're playing OKC. Either you rest everybody against OKC and go after San Antonio, but you ain't doing both. And I would think that they're going to play and try and win against OKC, and the next night against San Antonio, if that line doesn't get over like 18 points, I'm saying.
I don't over 18 points. I don't know, man. Well, okay, so let's think about this. They do have to rest Al Horford on one of those two games. Are you really going to chase the game against the Thunder and leave Quentin Post and Trace Jackson Davis to guard Victor Wembanyama?
And Draymond.
Yeah, but yeah. Like, Wemby, dude, he has 3 games already this season in which he has scored 30 points, holding 15 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, and also blocked 5 shots. There's been 3 such games put together by another player across their career that's currently active in the NBA. The only other guy that's done it 3 times right now is Joel Embiid. Wemby's done it 3 times in the first 5 games. He's unbelievable.
No, he is.
He's utterly ridiculous.
You know my favorite stat now for Wembanyama, and it's isolated to just him? It's called daddy blocks.
Daddy blocks?
Yeah, because think about when you were a kid in the backyard playing against your dad and you're an infant. Like, you just put your hand up. But people still want to challenge the guy. Like Zion Williamson, I was watching, and Zion like powers everybody. He's just like, no, I'm Zion. I'm gonna power, and he can't do it. Like, it's ridiculous what it is that he's doing to the game. I think San Antonio is. Well, Chicago and Philadelphia might be pretenders, right? More trick than treat, to stay with the Halloween theme. I'm beginning to think that San Antonio could be real deal. And I know they're at the top of the Western Conference, and a lot of weird things happen, as we say, the early portions of the season. Now this Dylan Harper kid, we talk about rookies. This guy looks like he can play. They're going to get some. But Fox isn't even playing with him. I mean, Wemby is just. I don't know how to bet against him, and I don't know how to handicap him because we've never seen any of this before. So saying that San Antonio is not going to the playoffs or saying San Antonio is not good enough to beat whomever, I'm not willing to go there.
No, they're good enough to be in the playoffs for sure. And so me and my buddy, every year we do just like a friendly competition. We'll go down the teams, the over-unders for each team, and we'll just pick yes or over, under. And it's just like a competition we have. We split some beers at the end of the season, who wins, who loses. San Antonio's was 43.5. That might have been the most confident one that I had. Because now I also was confident in someone like Orlando's, which was pretty inflated, and they're not looking very good to start the season. But San Antonio was something you could kind of see coming. And one of the things that I like about them, in an NBA that really, I think, has tried to force the big point guard onto a lot of teams. Like Houston doesn't have a true point because Amin Thompson handles the rock. Jason Kidd is under this impression that at 18 years old, Cooper Flagg can be him and basically be a big point guard. And maybe he'll get there, but it's a lot to throw on a guy who's never played the position before. The Spurs got a ton of guards. Like they don't even have De'Aaron Fox left, but you're looking at Stephon Castle. You mentioned Dylan Harper, Devin Vassell, guys that can handle the ball. So I know that the team is based around Wemby and his size and his impact on everything. Without him, they're not going to be very good. But they complement him by having a lot of players that can pass. And I think teams around the league, you're starting to see teams that have had early success. Actually, a team the Spurs beat most recently, Miami, like guys that can move the ball. As much as we make fun of the term connector and its natural association with someone like Podziemski, if you watch a lot of these teams with big guards or just a ton of team of forwards, they have trouble passing the ball, like entering the ball into the post, doing some of the simple fundamental things that you have to be able to do to just like initiate a possession. A lot of these teams can't do that.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And it's now becoming a coveted position because there's so many teams that are without guards. Again, getting back to Dallas, why they don't have Austin Reeves, I have no idea. 888-957-9570. We're talking about some gambling. Of course, that is that dark cloud that continues to hang over the NBA. Let's get out to Berkeley and join Michael, who's on the show. What's up, Michael? Good morning.
Good morning. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
I was just wondering, all the hosts on this radio station always say they're going to place a bet. I guess when I was on hold, I realized you have bookies, right? Do you drive to Reno every time you place a bet, or I don't understand?
Evan is equipped to answer that for you.
Yeah. I have a bookie. I don't know if I'm allowed to admit that, but what's up?
Well, yeah. All right, man. Thanks for being honest and everything.
Yeah, of course.
I guess he wants to know we talk about betting all the time, and while it's illegal in California, I think is natural.
Well, I'm not the one who's placing the bet.
Yeah. Are you offshore?
No, I don't mess with that stuff, man. Dude, they pay you in like crypto.
Yeah.
Or you have to send some sort of massive fee to get a parcel in them. It's really
that
shady.
U.S. bet is one of the worst. I have buddies who are
Bovada's a big one too. Yeah, I don't get involved in that.
Or Bet US. Say.
Yeah.
And they just don't. And they don't. My buddy's like, they don't pay out. Forget about crypto. He's like, he plays hard, and he's like, they made all the excuses and would not pay me.
And then I've heard.
And then what are you going to do?
Exactly. But I've heard too, if you stop placing bets, because eventually you're going to lose, and they expect you to come back, they'll start hitting you with an email. Like they'll start reaching out to you, and you just say, "Where you been? Like here's a free $50 that you're never going to see, but come back to bet. Whatever it is." No, I don't really mess around with that.
And just to chime in real quick, a lot of the hosts here also use Prize Picks, right? So Prize Picks...
that is legal.
It is legal because it is considered daily fantasy sports. That's a game of skill, classified as a game of skill in California. So that's why it's permitted.
Pasta, I'm not going to out you, but I'm going to out you. Do you believe that Prize Picks is a game of skill?
Absolutely not.
And you participate?
I do participate. It is not a game of skill under any circumstances.
I understand how you... Well, to me, it's a game of skill the way that any other, like a card game would be considered a game of skill. There is skill involved. You have to make an educated guess, and there's some sort of statistic probability involved in what you're playing. But let's be honest. Dealer turns up a face card and an ace, you're in trouble.
I mean, have you seen Rain Man? There's some...
Oh my God.
There's something to it. I think if you're able to count cards, that's a skill. If you're good at math, which I'm not, I'm sure that that's a huge benefit if you're going to Vegas. All right, we continue here on 95.7 The Game.
Rain dance.
We get into the Golden State Warriors tonight. They take on the Indiana Pacers, coming off a loss to that of the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Warriors, is it just one of those? It's nothing to see here. Let's move along. Or is this an older team that can get exposed from time to time? Your thoughts? 95.7 The Game continues right after this.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
Let's watch a movie.
And we have Netflix included to enjoy our favorite shows and movies.
¿Qué tal esta? Bacanísima, pero ya la vi.
Now the hard part is getting them to agree on a movie.
Switch today and get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI, all on the best network in the U.S. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla. Speed test intelligence data 1H 2025.
When you own your own business, you need to keep things moving. Need to book a last-minute flight? Earn a $300 travel credit to cover that. Need to take a meeting before takeoff? Do it from the comfort of the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club. Need to catch your breath before you board? Done. With $2,500 in annual value, the new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business is the card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill to see the full selection of Thermador appliances. Thermador provides a range of possibilities, from refrigeration to dishwashers or cooking with steam or convection. Come into Friedman's Appliance, and right now, you can receive up to 3 complimentary gifts with qualifying purchase. See all Thermador appliances displayed beautifully in live working vignettes at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill and at friedmansappliance.com.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
95.7 The Game and Great Clips have teamed up for the new basketball season. We want our listeners to look fresh with a great haircut from Great Clips. Each week, we'll pick a lucky winner to score a gift card. For a chance to win, courtesy of Great Clips, enter online at 957thegame.com.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The NBA season tips off, and so does DraftKings' newest fantasy game. DraftKings Pick 6 is the easiest way to play for big wins, with every possession giving you a shot at real money. Here's how to play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more stats, and unlock the upside every game brings. The better your picks, the bigger your payout. Pick 6 is available in your state. Plus, new DraftKings customers can get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. Don't just watch basketball, cash in. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THEGAME. That's code THEGAME. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside. In partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco, on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Who's this, boss? I don't like this.
Tupac.
You guys familiar
You
with...
heard of that guy?
Are you guys familiar? Well, what's the rapper's name? Skrilla? Skilla?
Well, there's Skrillex.
No.
There's Jay Dilla. There's...
I was looking this up, so everybody's...
Suge Knight?
Everybody's...
Mastakilla.
Throwing out... I don't know if you hang out with younger people. There's this new phrase, 6'7".
Oh, yes.
Which some people trace back to LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, so...
because he's 6'7".
I think the rapper, I could be wrong here, and people will correct us, I'm sure, but Skrilla he was. There was a lyric of his, right?
Exactly.
And he referenced LaMelo Ball specifically, but it's apparently something people just throw out in the middle of classrooms, and it's like sweeping the youth of America, and it's really frustrating the adults.
Well, it doesn't really have any definition.
No, it's just it's like it could mean it's like
anything.
Yeah, it could mean anything. It's like John, but I think a lot of people associate it with being like mid, like 6'7". That's
mid.
That's mid. That's something not that impressive.
Speaking of LaMelo Ball, did you see he flipped off a referee? But he didn't flip off a referee like.
He flipped off a referee?
Well, it's not like he did it with like in his face and angry. He just like got a call and he's like, walking the other way. And it was so LaMelo Ball. It sort of worked. It's like
it's kind of like doing a little scratch.
He wasn't that. You could clearly see it was intended for the referee, but he just was like, whatever, man.
He was fined $35,000 for it.
LaMelo Ball is just you can't win with guys like that, man. You know what? If you could somehow transfer his brother's head onto his body, you'd have a basketball player. Because I think Lonzo Ball is one of the... I've always liked Lonzo Ball as a basketball player. He's always looking to set up guys. In fact, I think Cleveland will be better because of Lonzo Ball. LaMelo, like the one-footed threes, stop.
So this reminds me, there's a new book that was written by this guy named, I think it's Yaron Weitzman. And it just came out. It's called A Hollywood Ending, Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers. And it's about like the power dynamic between the bosses and LeBron once he got to L.A. So within this book, there's a lot of stories, and one of which is about Lonzo, because when LeBron first got here, right, it was the baby Lakers. You had Lonzo, you had Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell,
Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, they eventually used to trade and get players, and they won a championship. But one of the stories in this book, and I'm going to paraphrase here because I don't remember the specifics, but Lonzo has come a long way. Like, he was, the second or third overall pick? And apparently, Lonzo didn't like to study. And the Lakers knew this when they drafted him. So, not quite Jamarcus Russell, give you a blank tape, go home, come back, tell me what happened in it, and you lie about it, which means you didn't watch it. But a lot of the advanced scouts or the assistant coaches for the Lakers would, in video sessions, ask, call on, hey, Lonzo, what are you supposed to do for this guy? I think it was actually a matchup with Russell Westbrook. And the scouting report was like, hey, make him go left, right? And they asked Lonzo, hey, if you're defending on Russell Westbrook, because that's your main assignment tonight, right? Where are you forcing him? And he goes, I'm just trying to keep him in front, or something like that. And they're like, no. If you'd read the scouting report, you know that Russ goes left, or Russ cannot go left. And so there was a lot of these small little things around Lonzo that actually, when he first got into the league, he might have had the head of LaMelo, but clearly now I think he's the most respected of the three. So he's come a long ways. Maybe there's some hope for young LaMelo.
How different would LaMelo be if the Warriors went number 2 with him instead of Weissman?
I think he'd be different.
He would. You know what? It's interesting on a serious note. I think it's sort of just to segue back to the Golden State Warriors. It's sort of what we're dealing with Jonathan Kuminga. You know who the worst team is in the NBA, I think, in the Western Conference? I guess it's the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yes.
And you want to know why? It's because you traded for Jordan Poole. Anywhere Jordan Poole goes. Oh,
come on, man.
Jordan Poole does not know how to win.
Dude.
He has all the bad habits. He'll always be on teams like Washington.
He's a champion.
It's the last time he'll ever sniff something like that. But my point is that Jonathan Kuminga, let's say Jonathan Kuminga got drafted by Orlando when they were in the rebuild.
Yeah.
Let's say he went to Toronto like Scotty Barnes when they were bad. Or he went to a bad team.
They're still bad.
He would have, certainly, he may have gotten a max deal by now. He would have gotten paid because he would have put up big numbers. I think we could all agree on that. But would he have ever learned to play the sport the right way? Like, would he ever learn to be a winner? Or would he be like a Jordan Poole? Which the league is littered with dudes who can score, but do you know the nuance of the game? Like all the schooling from Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, hitting your head up against, you got to do it our way. You got to fit in. Like none of that would have been something that he learned had he gone anywhere else, but he would have been a much wealthier guy. I wonder, if LaMelo Ball, I think it would have been as difficult, if not more so, in trying to rein in LaMelo Ball.
But don't we have the perfect case study for that? It's Jordan Poole. You've seen what kind of player he is when he's asked to be the primary option, or he's asked to, or he doesn't have structure, quite frankly. Like in Washington, there's no structure there. That's not a team that, in an organization that really knows what direction it's going in. They've just fired coaches willy-nilly. They're out there to just play. We've seen what player he can be in that kind of environment, but we've also seen within structure, and when he has bought in and played a role, that he can be a winning player. So that to me is actually an example of, I would use to support the argument that LaMelo Ball would be a different player if he played for Golden State. Because for all these people that say, and to your point, right, JP's not a winning player. Washington didn't do much. New Orleans, to your point, is the worst team in the league because they have a lot of Jordan Poole-type players. Okay, well, on the Warriors, he was a winning player when he was the sixth man on a championship team. He helped you win a title. He had a lot of big games during that playoff run. And to me, that is a firm example of how the Warriors, and along with Steve Kerr in that front office, can take players like that and properly fit them into the spots they're supposed to be. Jordan Poole is not a franchise player, but he could be a sixth man on a championship team, which he obviously is not going to be a part of in New Orleans because that team stinks.
Getting back to Jonathan Kuminga, have you seen enough in the first 10 days of the regular season to make sort of the sweeping generalization that this version of Jonathan Kuminga is real? And the version being that he's a guy that's bought in, that's doing all of the little things that Steve Kerr has been trying to pound into his head over the last 4 years, that this Jonathan Kuminga is not just a flash and doing things to impress people in the beginning of the season, but actually is the unveiling of a new guy.
I think he's a player with a different mentality from what it looks like to me.
So no reverting back to the old Jonathan Kuminga.
No, because you can see the effort on every single play. Like, is he going to continue to shoot 55%? And I think the big number that stood out to me, Dan, so far is 45% from three. Probably not. But I think it's encouraging that he is willing to rebound every single play. I think maybe in the game against Milwaukee, he might have been too selfless. Like, that was a game where not many others had it going. He was playing well, and I think he scored only a couple baskets in the fourth quarter down the stretch of that game. Like, they needed someone to kind of score. So, to me, the next step for him is going to be, all right, on a night where some other players don't have it going, can I be the one to take over? Because I think he's done an excellent job of trying to fit. It looks like he's trying to play the way that Steve Kerr has envisioned him playing in this system. But now there's going to be those nights where, hey, JK, actually we do need you to be the player from the Minnesota series in which you showed that you can score 30 points. Like, that guy, that's to me going to be the next phase of his career, is figuring out, all right, when am I the guy who's the second or third option? And on some nights, when am I going to have to take over? But I think he's clearly taken a step in the right direction. And I think he's a big reason why the Warriors are off to a nice start. So I think it's been refreshing. Like, and I understand there's both sides of it, right? If he'd been playing, he would have been this player. And everyone wants, people to, on the JK side of things, to apologize to Steve Kerr. To me, I think there needs to be apologies on both sides, because I've heard a lot of, this guy will never be this player. And I've been in that camp at some points. It's hard to not have been, to me. And I've also heard the side of things where, like, he's always been this guy. And to me, neither of those are really completely true. Clearly, he's developed over the course of 4+ years. And clearly, he's needed to buy in a little more than he has. So I think it's a bit of both. I don't know, what have you made of his
Well, I think
games?
that it's not only Jonathan Kuminga, just thinking about the Golden State Warriors collectively, but I think all those young players have to be who they've been in the early part of the season, meaning the Warriors are going to be so reliant, and they always are, but this year more than ever, on not only Jonathan Kuminga, but the Podziemskis, the Moody's, even the Trace Jackson Davis. Like that, they don't have to be as good as Jimmy Butler because they're not going to be. They don't have to be as good as Steph because there's no such thing, or Draymond Green. But there has to be more of an upgrade than what it is we've seen. And one of the guys that I think we need to highlight, because we always talk about Jonathan Kuminga, but it's Moses Moody. Like this version of Moses Moody, we've seen and we've talked about just about, I'm sure, every show you've done here about over the last week. Jonathan Kuminga's bought in. Love this version of Jonathan Kuminga. I think this version of Moses Moody is also worth underlining. And here's why. It's because Moses Moody has now looked as though he's reached a point, whether it's the Jimmy Butler factor, where he's so comfortable and now confident, where he's shooting, but he's shooting at a high volume. And after missing 2 or 3 shots, he's not looking over his shoulder and he's not being tentative. But he is becoming a guy that you can rely on giving you points. And you can see the transformation in his game where there is a sense of, I'm getting up my shots. He almost has adopted a little Klay Thompson shoot, right? Like he's losing his conscience, which is a good thing for a guy like that because he was very timid at times. And I think his maturity, if you can rely on a new and improved Moses Moody, who's now a confident basketball player that's going to come in and he's getting his shots. Like, I don't really care any longer of getting the stink eye from Draymond or Steph. This is what I do. And after 4 years in this system, year 5, I'm a confident man now when it comes to my game. I think that to go along with JK, if Podziemski can head in the right direction, that to me, that underbelly of the Golden State Warriors, that's what you have to focus on when you're handicapping this team.
Well, if we're talking about those 3 young players, the Podziemski, Moody, and Kumingas, to me, the Moody and Podziemski aspect of the team, it's going to be important because when they have Horford, it feels like, and especially against bigger teams, like those guys are going to come off the bench. To me, the weakness that I see right now with the Warriors would be, yes, they're deep, but their second unit doesn't really have a scoring punch. They have a lot of streaky shooters. Buddy Hield's a streaky shooter. I would also put Moses Moody in that category. I think he's a good shooter, but he's a streaky shooter. Quentin Post, on nights where he's not starting, is going to come off the bench. He's a streaky shooter. They don't really have anybody in that second unit to will them to kind of keep them at, above water when Steph's off the floor, except for Jimmy Butler. And there's going to be nights where either because he's unavailable, maybe he's a little fatigued, like we saw in both Portland as well as Milwaukee, where he just can't will and carry this second unit to try and keep pace while Steph's off the floor. I don't know who's going to be the emerging scoring threat from that second unit because it appears that Kuminga's here to stay in the starting lineup, whereas a lot of people had him envisioned coming into this year as the 6th man, the scorer off the bench. He's a starter. Like, there's no doubt about that now. So who's going to be the guy to come off the bench and get you some buckets? I think the candidate, if I'm going to point at anybody, the guy with the most potential might be Moses Moody. And I'm not sure he's there yet to the point where he can take a guy off the dribble. But I'm not sure Pods can do it. I can't rely on Buddy Hield, though he's going to have some nights. And there's not really anybody else off the bench right now that I'm looking at and saying, including an Al Horford, all right, I can pencil you in for 10 to 12 points a night.
And when you think about Buddy Hield and the Jonathan Kuminga relationship, if Buddy Hield's healthy and doesn't have the bad calf at the beginning of the season, Jonathan Kuminga I don't think is starting. Like, I think Jonathan Kuminga is the guy.
Oh, Moody, you mean?
Yeah, who did I say?
You said Buddy.
No. Yeah.
Moody.
Moses Moody.
I agree
Moody
with you.
Moody is starting, and Jonathan Kuminga is that 6th guy. Now there's no replace. So it's sort of interesting because a year ago, when you think about Jonathan Kuminga, was that sort of hard luck ankle injury just when he had turned a corner and was becoming this. Jonathan Kuminga was scoring the big numbers, really was playing well, according to Steve Kerr, and then he goes down with that untimely injury. And now we fast forward to the beginning of this season, and he's the benefactor of somebody else's injury.
Yeah.
That being Moses Moody.
Well, it's been interesting, and maybe we can get some calls in here too. I think that The thing that I'm wondering is, okay, so it looks like the Kuminga-Butler combo can work. Now, I think it's been working because those two guys have been shooting the ball really well from three, and eventually that's going to regress, and we'll see how that combination continues to progress. But it doesn't feel like on most nights, if Kuminga's playing well and doing well, that Moody can also get in on the action. And last year it was, well, Moody's in the starting lineup, he's playing well, and Kuminga's having a tough time figuring out where he fits. Like, to me, if they can somehow get those guys on the same page where they're both, and I know Moody's got the thumb thing right now, but if they can both have those players on the same page at the same time, I think that elevates their ceiling because they're the two most prototypical wing players that you need to compete nowadays in 2025.
I would also say that I know it's working right now, and I'm in on Jonathan Kuminga long term, but I don't know that the Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, while it's all, everybody's in on it now.
They're making a lot of threes.
Get back with me in a month or two.
They're making a lot of threes, and none of those three players have shot it this well for an entire season.
That spacing issue, I think, is going to rear its ugly head once again. 888-957-9570. Phone line, AJ in Los Angeles. Let's get down to the Southland. AJ, welcome to the show.
What's going on? Good morning. I don't really agree with most of the things you guys have talked about so far. And I'll start with the Jonathan Kuminga in terms of not seeing this version of Jonathan Kuminga. That's wrong. That's big time wrong. In fact, we've seen this. We've seen layers of what we've seen. The only thing that we haven't seen of this version of Jonathan Kuminga is the passing, okay? And I would say the only reason we haven't seen this much of Jonathan Kuminga in the passing game is because he was a bit impatient, but I don't think he ever had the duties of being a facilitator in this offense as much as he has now. Okay, but in terms of shooting, he's a career 50% shooter from the field. His per 36 minutes is 7 rebounds. So he's always rebound when he had significant run. Whenever he had run, he rebounded the ball. Okay, in terms of defending the ball, he's always been known as a guy who could defend the ball. The challenge is obviously it's been off the ball, and my argument for that is that the Warriors are so weak at the backcourt is that they have to switch everything. They have to switch everything, and I think that's the challenges what they're having right now defensively is that they have to switch everything because Pi's buddy Steph are so terrible on the ball as point-of-attack defenders. You lean so much on guys like Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and J.K. to cover them. And so I think that the Moody and J.K. situation, we need to stop doing the one or the other. I think they both have to play because, believe it or not, I believe they're the two best point-of-attack defenders on the team. They're the best on-ball defenders. So you have to find a way to get them on the floor. You got to find a way to get Moody in his traditional position, which is the two-guard position. And you got to find a way to, get Draymond, Jimmy, and J.K. on the floor. And again, the only reason why that didn't work is because they didn't play as much. So we can't keep saying that this doesn't work, the spacing doesn't work. We can't say spacing. And one thing about the spacing issue, I hate the spacing question because most of us who argue spacing never even played in the NBA before. So we're arguing spacing as a mouthpiece to Steve Kerr, but when he rolled it out there, all of a sudden, the Jimmy, J.K., Draymond has the highest net rating on the team. Why? Because they're playing. They have run. So I just wanted to kind of lay that out there for you guys and just kind of be patient. Let's just watch things play out. Let's see what happens. J.K. knows that he needs to play well. He needs to showcase because he got to go get a bag.
Thanks, AJ. Well, you knew it'd just be a matter of time. You mentioned Jonathan Kuminga. We get people like AJ. So I guess.
Well, he also said that we haven't seen this type of player before because we haven't seen this sort of passing from him.
Yeah, and I think the passing to me is the first thing that jumps out more than anything else.
His rebounding percentage is up. His assist percentage is up. And his usage rate is down. He's scoring more efficiently than he ever has. His true shooting percentage is miles ahead of where it's been at any year, even his best season. You could say it was a couple of years ago down the stretch of it's nearly 70% his true shooting percentage. He's a different player. That's okay. He's a different player. He's more efficient in the opportunities that he's had with the ball and without the ball. And the Warriors are better for it. I don't know why we can't just admit that.
Well, I think a lot of people like AJ, they want their pound of flesh. Or they want at least somebody. And I think you said it perfectly. That I think if Steve Kerr was to be honest, and maybe he's vocalized this, that he's made a mistake. Right? Maybe he should have given him run a lot sooner, or maybe he should not have DMP'd him or continued to mess with his head and yo-yoing him back and forth. I think that there's, some ownership there on the part of Steve Kerr. But I also think that at times, to your point, and I think, correct me if I'm getting this right from what it is that you said, that there's also some culpability on the part of Jonathan Kuminga, who was not ready at times and still was not playing within the system, and that both guys are at fault. And now we've arrived at a place that I don't know why we have to continue to dig this up, but we will. But they now arrived at a place where Jonathan Kuminga is playing at his optimal sort of Warrior level, and Steve Kerr is satisfied from what it is that he's getting out of Jonathan Kuminga. So while both guys may have been at fault, we finally, and it's been sort of a treacherous road, we've finally arrived at a place where everything is sort of copacetic and both guys can coexist.
Yeah, well, okay, instead of different, since that seems to be a triggering word for some people, how about a better player? He's been a better player this season than he has in his first 4 years, which, oh, by the way, is kind of the goal. If you're a young guy and you're 23, you want to be getting better. And I'm happy for him that it looks like he's moving in that direction because the Warriors are better for it.
All right, we got to get to a break. We see you on the phone line, 888-957-9570. Mitch, hang out in Jersey. We'll get to you and the rest of the callers when we continue here on Warriors This Week with Evan Giddings and Dan Avone.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in the Bay Area. And our more than 110 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Tune in for Warriors Live today, presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage. Brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
America's favorite car show is back. Don't miss the Good Guys 35th Fuel Curve Autumn Get-Together. November 8th and 9th at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. Over 2,500 American-made and powered show cars and trucks. A special indoor truck show. Cruiser-Rama and vintage trailer display. A huge swap meet at Fender Midway. A free family fun zone, live music, and more. November 8th and 9th at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Be there. Details at good-guys.com.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
You want Black Friday prices without the Black Friday crowds. Lowe's gets it. We check the calendar, and Christmas is coming early. $99 is all you need to grab your favorite select 7-foot pre-lit artificial Christmas tree for the holiday season. And don't sweat what gifts to get Dad, because we've got up to 40% off select tools and accessories. That's how Lowe's celebrates Black Friday early. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Red and Gold Game Day starts at Laughing Monk Brewing. Park for free. Enjoy amazing food, ice-cold beer, and every game on TV. Catch 95.7 The Game's pregame show. Then hop on the free shuttle straight to the stadium. Sign up now at 957thegame.com. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back in. Golden State Warriors do battle with the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers, of course, without their best player. You just take one guy like a Therese Halliburton, and it's an entirely different team.
Well, you also saw the other guy they lost from their team
Pascal
on Thursday.
Siakam, right?
No, Miles Turner.
Oh, Miles.
He's on the Bucks.
Yeah, no, but I mean...
Oh, yeah, you take away Halliburton. I think, but it's like you take away the point guard and the 7-foot 3-and-D shot blocker, and it's like, yeah, if Siakam's not having a good game, then they're in trouble.
So the Warriors favorite and should be able to handle business, although you never know, on the road.
They're 10.5 favorites. I wouldn't touch that.
You and I were talking about play-by-play and broadcasting during the break. I'm kind of with you when it comes to NBC and the Michael Jordan insights to greatness. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, what? This has nothing to do with anything. Like, and they're playing the same interview with Tirico because he's wearing the same clothes. They're both wearing the same clothes, and it's like he's talking about load management, and it's just like it has no relevance to anything. And then the answers he's given is like, yeah, okay, we know how you feel about load management, and you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. And it's like, he's talking about load management, and, you know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy who's working hard, and. You know, you're playing for that guy w It's just, it has. The only thing you take away when you see Michael Jordan
the eyes
on NBC it's like, what's wrong with his eyes? That's it. You walk away going, what's going on with that?
Like, he's the all-time great, or one of them, wherever you want to put him. Doesn't really matter
not one
to
of
me.
them. Come on, it's either him or LeBron.
I don't know. Some Warriors fans think Curry's the greatest. I don't know. I don't care where you have Michael Jordan ranked in your all-time players. What I do care about is him being completely hypocritical every single time he talks on one of these halftime shows, which, by the way, you're right. The fact that they just recorded a 2-hour conversation sometime in the offseason and then are unveiling his lessons of greatness across the season is the laziest POS I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you're going to be a part of a broadcast, then actually be a part of a broadcast. Show up to a game like every single other person that's paid on that production staff and analyst staff is paid to do. Show up, be there, talk about the game. But this is it too. So the last one, they were going into load management. And Jordan was given the whole, look, you're paid for 2 hours of performance, 2.5 hours. The other 22, what are you doing to prepare for the next 2.5 hours? It's like, Mike, you're on the golf course for 4 hours a day, and you're at Atlantic City for 6 hours a night. Like, you're telling me that you were spending all 22 hours every single day keeping your body in the best possible condition and not doing anything else? You're telling me
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You didn't have any vices? So, to me, yes, load management is a problem, but Mike being the guy to sit up there and say, all right, well, you can only care about basketball and not have any other part of your life. Like, it's a little hypocritical.
It's not only that.
He was on the floor every game, but to me, it falls on deaf ears.
But
If
I'm NBC and I'm getting basketball back after 3 decades, and there's all this excitement, and I'm the EP, the executive producer, whomever's in charge of these sort of things of putting together a show, and I've got NBC money to spend. When they go to the studio, you couldn't do any better than Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, and Tracy McGrady. It's like Maria Taylor's solid, but there is no chemistry there.
Oh, I hate it.
It is like you compare that to inside the NBA, and some of those guys were like the backup to the backup on Inside the NBA. It's like come on. You could have got a little more innovative. You could have found somebody that nobody's discovered yet. But those 3 guys are just like NBC up to this point. You got Tirico, and I'm good with Reggie Miller. And actually, Jamal Crawford is not bad. Usually 3 people for an NBA game is too many, but I'll take it. But their studio show,
Maybe that's your problem, Dan, is that you're comparing stuff to Inside the NBA when there's nothing. It's incomparable, possibly.
I'll compare it to Amazon. I'll compare it to ESPN. Give me Kendrick Perkins. I'll take it. Give me, Zach Lowe. Or give me somebody like that. Give me...
Well, I would just like to
Brian Windhorst. Throw him out there.
I would like to hear what Michael Jordan has to say about the games and the players. That's just me. And I get that a lot of people love seeing Mike because he's their favorite player, and it takes them back into a time which they love the game of basketball. But for me, I guess I'm curious what Michael Jordan thinks about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Steph Curry or Draymond Green, and asking him to critique and analyze stuff that's happening in the moment and get his spur of the moment. That to me would be really interesting. I am interested in what Michael Jordan has to say about that. But for them to just roll out this 2-hour segment over the course of the season, some segments are going to be better than the others, and it's going to be nostalgic for a lot of people. I guess it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, how about talk about at least reference the game that's being played? It's halftime of an NBA basketball game, and he's waxing poetic about load management in the same clothes that he was wearing the last time we saw Insight to Excellence a week ago. Come on, NBC.
I think overall, like the NBC production, I think the play-by-play, the games themselves, even like the scoreboard banners is kind of refreshing. And, like the Costas segment, I think he did kind of the preamble to, what was it, Warriors Memphis or Warriors Clippers?
Yeah.
Or Warriors Clippers, right? The 8:00 game, which, by the way, is something else. I had to do pre and post that
Dude,
night.
I'm on the East Coast, man. It's 11 o'clock at night, and they're tipping off.
They're just saying
it's
goodbye
not even
to
11
half
o'clock.
the
It's 11:15.
Yeah, I didn't start postgame until like 11:15 at night. I felt bad for Cam, who's back here in studios, one of our great producers and runs all the Warriors games. And I'm like, Cam, is it all right if I get you out of here at 12:15? He's like, I mean, I guess, because we usually go an hour, and like 8 o'clock tips are just, we got to find a better way to just. It'd be one thing, 7:30's pushing it, but you jump from 7 o'clock to 8, and then, of course, you have the 15-minute buffer. 8 o'clock ain't it, man. I was tired the next day.
You? Come on, man. Nobody burns the candle on both ends like you.
I was tired this morning. You just wouldn't know it.
888-957-9570. Mitch is hanging out in New Jersey. Let's do it. Mitch, how are you?
How you guys doing? Happy Halloween, belated.
You as well.
Yeah. Well, mine wasn't too good for my grandson. He didn't get the chance because some Princeton tree took out a wire in my house, no electricity, and the guy took off. So I didn't get it till 1 o'clock. So no trick-or-treating for my grandson. He's 3. Well, there's always next year. Okay, I think this Western Conference is going to be really good. You got to watch out for Dallas, San Antonio, and even Utah. What about a trade with the Warriors? Kuminga, does he want to stay here? It was the whole baseball season talking about Kuminga. What about Kuminga and Moody to New Orleans? And I like Herb Jones, and you can throw in Zion. What do you think? This is a crazy idea or what? I think Zion, maybe he can work well up with Curry and all.
I think you got food poisoning or candy poisoning from whatever it is that you were eating.
Not at all. Oh, not
I don't
at
know.
all.
I don't know if you're like messing with me.
Mitch, you all right, buddy?
I think you're doing like
I'm fine.
You're just poking the bear,
Maybe a
aren't
little
you?
No, maybe a little lack of sleep. I just thought these are two teams that kind of waiting for Kuminga, even Moody to blossom. And then over there, Herb Jones is just good. But Zion, you never know what you're going to have with him. Maybe he could really get his act together. I just thought, a new scene and all that, new scenario.
Mitch in New Jersey, thanks, Mitch. It's actually not bad. I mean, Herb Jones is a good player. Zion Williamson, people still think that guy could be something, but it's never going to happen.
Well, if there's somebody you want on that team, it's Trey Murphy.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, not Herb Jones.
Well, Herb Jones is a good player, but I think Trey Murphy's, who, by the way, was a guy the Warriors could have drafted. I think they took Moody.
He's hurt a
right
lot
before him. Yeah, he's been in and out, but he's 6'9", can shoot the 3 ball and defend.
He is the perfect two-way player.
He might be starting for the Warriors on this team.
I feel bad I went after Mitch that hard. He's actually...
Well, it sounds like he had a tough night. You hear the beginning? This guy had the power knocked out of his house and couldn't take his grandson trick-or-treating.
I missed that.
It's because Bichette popped out in the ninth inning with runners on.
And bullshit.
He got doubled off.
All right, so the Golden State Warriors take on those Indiana Pacers who are playing without one Therese Halliburton. The Golden State Warriors coming off that, and sort of this is what it is I think we can expect, where the Warriors will get exposed because they're old and they're slow at times, but then they can bounce back and be a team with their legs and resemble nothing like the team that just sort of mailed it in against the Milwaukee Bucks. What are you expecting out of the Warriors tonight?
I expect them to roll. Yeah, I mean, the Pacers are not a good team with how banged up they are. But the one thing they do have are a lot of guys who can run. And I think the Warriors, like, to me, that game against Milwaukee, they just look uninterested, honestly. I think you said it perfectly in our first hour, which was they played like the Bucks were going to come out and take a lot of shots and make some. And eventually the averages are going to fall in our favor. But the Bucks just kept making shots. Ryan Rollins kept making shots. And then you find yourself down 6 or 8 in the waning moments, and you're like, all right, we got to turn it on. And it just wasn't there when they tried to. Like, this Warriors team is not good enough to just turn it on and beat anyone in the league. I don't think a lot of teams are like that this year, except for a few. And the Warriors ain't one of them. So I think they're going to come out with a little more intent against Indiana. I think a lot more focus. But Indiana's a team that, they didn't have Ant, but they played the Timberwolves tight. They played the Thunder tight. They've played the Mavericks tight. They'll stay in a game if you let them, but if you go out there and play the way that I think we all believe the Warriors should, this should be a blowout defeat for Indiana. Like the Warriors should win this game, I think, handedly, which would also behoove them to do so, considering they have a back-to-back coming up on Tuesday, Wednesday. They get a few days of rest. They got to come back. They got to come back home. But I think fatigue is a word that's going to follow the Warriors throughout the entire season. And I'm just hoping that though it's been used early, it's not going to be an excuse every single time they lose a game that they should win.
I mean, the beginning of this season already has been challenging in terms of the schedule. Just taking a look ahead. I mean, you got the Pacers tonight. Then you got to come back, and you got this is your back-to-back that you're talking about, where you got the Suns and the Kings. Okay, so back-to-backs, as we know, albeit the Kings, you want to give a Kings update? They continue to go from bad to worse, man. That is such a bad franchise. My goodness, what a terrible basketball team.
I haven't done a deep dive on this, but I'm getting close to being convinced that the worst contract in basketball is Zach LaVine.
Oh, God.
I mean, he can score the ball. I think his game is aesthetically pleasing because he plays above the rim. He's pretty smooth, but the guy gives you nothing on defense. He demands the ball. And on a team where DeMar needs the ball, Monk, who I think is out now, needs the ball, might actually help him. Schroeder needs the ball. Who else needs the ball on that team? Russ. Westbrook needs the ball.
Russ.
Who else? The one guy that they don't actually use, who's probably their best player, is Sabonis.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of years ago when they made the run and were the third seed, they lost to the Warriors, but they had a couple of decent teams. Sabonis was the guy that touched the ball the most on that team and got everybody else involved.
Fox had a huge series.
Well, he had the ball the most, but Sabonis, the DHO, the dribble handoff, was synonymous with Sacramento Kings basketball, and now he's just a glorified rebounder. So that team makes zero sense whatsoever to me, and I would be they're going to be a bottom four team. Them, Memphis are going to be teams that are looking up at a lot of groups in the West.
And the Pelicans are really bad.
The Pelicans are just bad.
To their defense, they are playing without Keegan Murray. But even with Murray back, it's just what doesn't make sense is what basketball mind, because they all are legitimate players when you look at them individually, but what basketball mind said Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Sabonis can coexist, and that'll be sort of our foundational pieces, and we'll build around them. On what planet? What sport is it that you're watching? That is such a mess out there. Anyways, getting back to the Warriors. So you go Suns, who are a little bit better this year. Suns, and then Kings back-to-back. That back-to-back in and of itself, albeit the Kings, just as we have talked about and detailed, is never a good thing for the Golden State Warriors. But then this road trip. It's already been challenging up to this point. Now this road trip, you got to take on the Denver Nuggets, right? And then the Warriors got the Indiana Pacers. Or are those at home? No, those are at home. Okay, so you got the Nuggets and the Pacers. Then you go on the road next week where you got the Thunder and the Spurs back-to-back. And then it's a baseball series with the Spurs. So you see the Spurs, you get a day off, and then you got the Spurs the next day. I mean, it's about as difficult as it gets for the Golden State Warriors in terms of the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 winnable games coming up. Indiana's not very good. I know Phoenix won last night, but they beat the Jazz. I don't think Phoenix is great. The Kings are not a good team in comparison to others. These are the games, and why I understand the frustration about the Milwaukee game. It's not necessarily that, you're going to have duds, right? That was their first stinker of the year. I know they lost to Portland, but there was a little more built into that 3rd and 4 nights without Horford. This one, you didn't even have to play Giannis, and you still lost. And you kind of got, I think they dictated the terms of engagement for that game. Milwaukee did. But you look ahead and you're like, well, are we really going to beat Denver a second time in Denver? Are we really going to beat Oklahoma City, then back-to-back games at San Antonio? And then also, if you look ahead to the end of that road trip, at the end of the road trip, by the way, you have a back-to-back Orlando into Miami, which are not going to be easy games. Although Steph Curry always seems to have a 50-burger when he goes to Orlando. Like, that's why I think the frustration with the Milwaukee game is not individual, but you look big picture and you're like, all right, 10 out of the next 12 games are on the road. This is one we should probably get because we're also going to have rest. And it's the first game of a road trip where you might be at your most fresh. So that's where I understand where people are like, that's an inexcusable loss. It's one that, depending on the remainder of this road slate, Dan, you're going to look back at it and say, damn, okay, well, that's the difference between us going 6-4 in the next 10 and 5-5.
So when you think about the Warriors and the trade deadline, do they make a move to get another center? Do they need another wing? What is it that the Warriors are going to address? If you were to assess their needs, now it's way too early in the season, but just if you were to sort of project and take a look ahead at what it is that this team is going to need to finish out the season and be competitive, there's a lot of people feel as though that you need to upgrade with the Quentin Post, a Draymond, and a Trace Jack or an Al Horford, a Trace Jackson Davis that you need another body there. Or is it somebody, that is an elusive wing? But first of all, do you think that they need to add, and what position do you think that would be?
I do think that this year the Warriors will make a trade. And I think that trade is going to be determined by how much you get from someone like DeAnthony Melton. Because he's supposed to be a good 3-and-D player, which really fortifies your backcourt. And that might not be a position you really have to look at. And then it's just, well, can we add some size? I think the progression of someone like Post is going to be important. The durability of Horford is going to be important. But at the same time, Dan, this Warriors team has always been at its best when they play small. Like Draymond, I still believe that you're not going to see it because they're trying to preserve him for the longevity of this year. It's an 82-game marathon, but the Warriors are still their best when Draymond's the 5, I think. I know they can play bigger with Horford. They've started bigger with Post, but when it comes down to brass taxes against the best teams and in the playoffs, I still think that their best 5-man unit includes Draymond Green at center. And I know that's going to make people sweat because it means they're small, but that's where, to me, the emergence of a Kuminga, potentially a Moody, wings, guys that can switch, that can play defensively against bigger players. The rebounding aspect of Kuminga's game has been important because if they go small, you need guys that can clean the glass against bigger groups in the Western Conference. And so, to me, the emergence of their younger wings is going to be important. And if I'm looking at a potential position for them to address, I do think it would be more a guard or a wing as opposed to a big, because I think they're just best at the 5 with Draymond.
Yeah, but how long are we going to subscribe to that? I mean, it's going on 10 years of this, and almost every game there is a big the Warriors can't match up with. And they're like, well, we're at our best and we're small. I mean, whether it's Zubats, the Clippers, or whether it's the Joker, or whether it's Wemby, every single night, because the big is returned to the NBA. And the Warriors just hang on to this, well, we do it a different way. Meanwhile, you just watch Zubats eat, or you just watch guys just camp in the paint and dealing with these munchkins who the Warriors roll out every single game because they cling to this subscription of that's the way we won back in the day, and we're a small team and we don't need to subscribe to a big. Meanwhile, the landscape of the NBA has changed because everybody did play it like that of the Golden State Warriors, but things are cyclical in the NBA, and guess what's returned? The big. And they don't necessarily have to be stretch 5s, but just somebody who can protect both rims, and somebody that when you have a 7-footer that is a legitimate 6'10 or 6'11 guy that is somewhat of an athlete, that you can body up and just sort of use at least his 5 fouls, and or just having somebody of that size that you can call on.
Well, that's why you got Horford, right?
But he's 6'9".
He's a little bigger than that. I mean, but I also think that Horford is not a guy that the Warriors are still right now, and I know it's only been 6 games, but the Warriors are still right now 24th in offensive rebounding. They're 22nd in total rebounding. And while I don't think they've had a massive issue, grabbing boards when they were small last year, that's where someone like Kevon Looney, or his impact a couple years ago, was very important when he got to the postseason. He's undersized comparison to a lot of the 7-footers and trees down there, but he had a knack for rebounding. I do think this team, no matter if they have Horford, Post, whoever they try and trot out there, there's not really a guy that I feel like is going to give you a ton of second chance opportunities. So maybe that's someone that they try and acquire at the deadline. I don't know who's out there necessarily, but you're right that this team is small and has leaned into small ball quite a bit. I just feel like that's always been when they've played at their best. And I also think last year, that's kind of when they were at their best. We saw that there was a ceiling for it, but I get the sneaking suspicion that at the end of the day, we're not seeing Draymond at the 5 because Kerr wants to make sure he's fresh for when he can eventually play that position.
Oh, he'll be at the 5.
I know, he will.
If it's a big game or it's the playoffs, they go back to what they do best, and that's Draymond at the 5.
Horford's only playing like 20 minutes a game.
All right, we continue here on 95.7 The Game. When we talk about trades, it seemed to be the consensus at the beginning of the season that Jonathan Kuminga is going to be out the door by the end of the year. We still clinging to that? Is it still an inevitability that he's going to get traded? Your thoughts when we continue Evan Giddings, Dan Devone, Warriors This Week here on 95.7 The Game.
When you own your own business, you own every decision. Catch the red eye or take the 6 a.m.
Make a new hire or promote internally.
Celebrate a win with the toast at the gate or unwind at the lounge. Big props to this team. Some decisions are a win-win. Like earning 8 times points on Chase Travel. Introducing Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business. With $2,500 in annual value, it's the business card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member of FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
The NBA season tips off, and so does DraftKings' newest fantasy game. DraftKings Pick 6 is the easiest way to play for big wins, with every possession giving you a shot at real money. Here's how to play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more stats, and unlock the upside every game brings. The better your picks, the bigger your payout. Pick 6 is available in your state. Plus, new DraftKings customers can get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. Don't just watch basketball, cash in. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THEGAME. That's code THEGAME. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside. In partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
Then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated video only.
at Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
You'll be sorry.
in Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only. So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But
It was Video Only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
better than online and at the club?
I know! Video Only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy at Video Only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
You'll be sorry.
in Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
The 24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Join Spadoni, Shasky, Steiny, Guru, Willard, and Dibbs for the Blue and Gold Summit live at Jackson Pleasant Hill Thursday, November 6th. Willard and Dibbs from 2 to 4, the Summit 4 to 6. Talk hoops, grab a drink, and enjoy happy hour specials only at Jackson Pleasant Hill on November 6th. Don't miss it.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Pasta, looking at you, you would never know, but you get a little funk in you. You get a little soul.
A lot of Tupac today from Pasta.
What do you mean looking at you?
Oh, I don't mean to racially profile, but you don't scream Tupac.
No, honestly, the Jeff Pearlman book came out this week, so I'm kind of big on that right now.
That is a pretty cool project. So Jeff Pearlman is one of the better sports authors around. And this is his first book. What's the title of it, Pasta?
Only God Can Judge Me.
So it's the first non-sports book that Jeff Pearlman has written. but based on his investigative methods, this is a guy he wrote Cowboys doc. He wrote a Cowboys book, kind of detailing the 1990s Cowboys. He wrote the book that the HBO show Winning Time was largely based off of. I don't think it was called Winning Time.
No, it was called Showtime.
Showtime, about the Showtime Lakers in the 80s. And he's written a bunch of really good sports books.
86 Mets.
This is the first time that he's dived into a different realm. So when Pasta's done with it, I'm just going to snatch his.
Yeah, you two read about as much as anybody that I'm familiar with, certainly at the station.
Well, he reads more than I do, but like Pasta, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of the interest for you is primarily sports books.
Sports books for sure.
Yeah. But I think for anybody who wants to read more, that's kind of how you, not specifically sports, but that's the best way to get into it, is to figure out what your interest is and really just what's going to keep your attention. Because I think the biggest issue that I find myself, and I think a lot of people with reading, is number one, you haven't done it in a long time. And when you did do it, you were forced to do it. So there's like a negative connotation with reading. Number two is because we're on our phones all the time, and we're constantly scrolling, or this, you're just taking dopamine hints all the time from these 10-second videos or little tweets, that you're expecting to get the same kind of hit from reading a book. And that's not really how it works.
No.
You really have to spend, I would say, like a good 20 to 30 minutes to kind of get into that zone.
I like OnlyFans. I don't read. Just an OnlyFans guy.
What is wrong with you?
It was supposed to be a joke. You know
what is wrong with you?
You know what's...
I can't even find the right drop.
You know what's... to your point, how we just like have this voracious appetite to constantly be consuming things, right?
Oh my God, I'm salivating.
Think about the betting scandal, albeit we're still talking about it, but don't you feel as though it was like in the rearview mirror? Like, I almost feel like the public, the unwashed masses, if you will, are like, they consume so much, they're like, what's next? It's almost like it's not a big deal anymore. Just like it replaced what should have been, I think, a much bigger story in the Kawhi Leonard getting $28 million to get under the salary cap for a job that he never attended, sort of like, it had legs for a little while. And then this betting story comes along, but we're constantly looking to consume, that our attention span for something that is as significant as to what took place is kind of like, what's next?
Well, it's complicated, and it demands comprehension, and specifically reading comprehension, which is not the easiest skill to own in a society where you're basically just attentive for 15 seconds at a time. I think that's tough. And I'm not trying to say that I'm great at it, because I really struggle with it, trying to get better at it. But I think that for something like the Kawhi Leonard scandal, and by the way, he's still under investigation by the NBA, quote unquote investigation. I mean, we found out what happened with the Terry Rozier investigation from a couple of years ago. It didn't go anywhere until Kash Patel and the FBI stepped in. But you're right. It just kind of goes to the wayside, and I think that's also... It's good in one sense because, for example, if you're watching the Warriors on Thursday and you're disappointed with that result, you're over it by November 1st. I mean, you're just washing that game. But I think for a lot of people, myself included, it's just hard to stay on track. I mean, shoot, one thing that I actually wanted to get your thoughts on, which is Warriors related, is... So I found out Shohei Ohtani is going to start Game 7 of the World Series tonight, right?
Yes.
Did you see what Brandon Pajemski's told Nick Friedel of The Athletic yesterday?
What?
Or came out yesterday, but a couple days ago. He said, if I had stuck with baseball...
Here we go.
I could have been, and I bleep you not, this was the quote, the white Shohei.
Oh, my God.
He's doing this tongue-in-cheek.
Dude, he's not. Brandon Pajemski, I fully believes in himself that much. I'll just go ahead and say it. There has not been, that I can recall, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but there has not been a more irrationally confident member of the Golden State Warriors than Brandon Pajemski in recent memory.
Pods can dunk.
There just hasn't been. This guy believes that he is the salt of the earth. And in this case, believes that he had stuck with baseball, would have not just only been a two-way player, but would have been one of the best two-way players in Major League Baseball.
He did go out in batting practice.
Yeah, he hit a home run in BP, which at Oracle Park, actually, that's not nothing. But the dude hits a home run. I think he was a good baseball player in high school, but it's like, you got to have some respect for other athletes.
I wonder about his popularity with the Warriors.
I think he's popular.
Is he? Because sometimes I get a sense that because of that arrogance, which I do think is real, I wonder if it just sort of spills over and, it may create, I don't know, some relationship issues with the players.
I think he's still young enough that he kind of gets the, all right, buddy.
No, that was initially like Steph was like, he's so cute. You ought to hear this guy. Now we're going into year 3. It's kind of like, it's not leveling off. It's not tempering. And I'm wondering whether, I don't know, not Steph and Draymond because they probably roll their eyes, but some of the other guys. I remember Andrew Wiggins got into it with him once because he tried to reprimand Andrew Wiggins on a specific play, and Wiggins was like dropping F-bombs on him on the floor. And
that's a lot for Wiggins.
It is. And so, is that what you wanted to talk about? I think during the break, you're like, hey, I got something.
Yeah, I did. Well, okay. You also asked me what we're going to do here.
I thought we were going to come stronger than that. No, but I like
it. I think Pods is a player we don't talk about a lot, but he just gets. So this was his rookie season. Do you remember when he went to the podium one game and basically took full ownage for a loss? Like they had, I forget who they were playing, but he went to the podium and was like, this one's on me. I just remember thinking, oh my God, who does this guy think he is? Now, I have a soft spot for Pods because I also think that irrational confidence is the reason why he's in the NBA. And one of the reasons that he's been successful as a basketball player, you kind of have to have that I'm the best guy on the floor mentality, no matter what walk of life. So I do respect that aspect of it. But then Draymond, they run it by, I don't know if it was at the same press conference or the day after, but they're like, hey, Pod said, he's taking ownership, felt really bad about the loss. He basically goes, hey, young fella, you ain't the reason why we won or lost tonight. With all due respect, he's a great player. You want to have that kind of mentality, but I hate to break it to you. 30 had an off night over there. That's why we lost.
Let's stay with the Pajemski theme. 888-957-9570. Duck Sauce is in San Jose. What's up, Duck?
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, what up, Duck?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Good to hear you guys talking hoops on Saturdays again. Love that time of year. Be honest, I wasn't going to call in today, man, but that Pajemski comment just took me over the top that that Ev brought up. You kind of stole my thunder, though. You brought up the I remember that. It was a game at Chicago, and Wiggs was not playing well, for sure. But, at the time, we didn't know what he was going through, whatnot, whatever. Everyone was frustrated with him. But Wiggs had a fast break, and either Pajemski wanted Wiggs to throw it ahead to him or he wanted him to go harder at the hoop, but he got fouled from behind. And Pajemski screams, come on, Wiggs, trying to show him up. And it's like, yeah, okay, I get being frustrated with Wiggs, but who are you to do it? You're nobody. I can't remember if it was his rookie year or his second year. But I'm like, what are you doing, bro? And it just made me think of constant themes with this guy. It's one thing to be confident in yourself. There's another thing to have lack of self-awareness. I've seen this guy, fling his arms at Steph, not swinging him a shot on a three. You're talking about the greatest shooter of all time. It's like, bro, I hate to break it to this dude. You're an overachiever. As far as the league, the NBA goes, you're not talented, period. You're lucky you're in the league, in my opinion. If this league didn't call these joke of a travels where you stand on your second foot like you're playing hopscotch, he wouldn't even get his shot off in the key sometimes. So it missed me with all that, man. Even this is the last thing I'll say. I remember his rookie year. I don't know if we were calling it Twitter or X by that time. He's on Twitter, panning for himself like, hey, look at my stats. Why am I not on second team all rookie? It's like, who does that for themselves? It's like, bro, dude, he's annoying, man. Can't stand the way he carries himself. Love you guys. Great show.
Thanks, Doc. I think I remember what he was talking about. It was actually after, it was from his rookie season. It was after Victor Wembanyama won Rookie of the Month. And Pods quote tweets the NBA announcement, because Wembanyama averaged 23, 15, and 4 blocks or something ridiculous. And Pods tweets out his plus-minus number because it was higher than Wembanyama. You can come down his road all you want. Pods, his rookie season did impact things in a positive fashion. But he tweets out, didn't have the highest plus-minus of the month or something, and put his number, which was higher than Wembanyama's, as evidence that he should have been Rookie of the Month. And it's number one, stop. Number two, it's a Rookie of the Month award.
Stop it.
It is not that important in the grand scheme of things. But it does highlight how confident he is in himself. And as much as I personally have respect for a lot of guys like that are, to Duck's point, overachievers, I can also understand how that rubs a lot of fans the wrong way. Or they just don't really like that aspect of him.
Yeah, I don't really get it, the Podziemski hate. I mean, I think that he was...
Because I think he's annoying.
Yeah, but it's sort of that can't really bother you. You should laugh at it. Dude, you're so out there. It's sort of amusing, if nothing else, because we all know it's so ridiculous. I
guess the question becomes, when does it turn into too much?
I think the hate, it's that, and it's coupled with the fact that he's perceived as Steve Kerr's teacher's pet. I think that has a lot to do with it, and maybe more so than anything else.
That's fair.
Because, he jumped to the front of the line, whereas Moses Moody and Kuminga have been vying for playing time, and yet this guy was inserted right into the starting lineup a year ago.
Well, that's actually something, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but I do believe is beginning to change. And I don't know, maybe it'll help people feel better or, worse about him. But whereas the first 2 seasons it felt like Pods was just gonna play, I think that on this team, with the amount of depth that they have, especially when DeAnthony Melton comes back, I do think that Podziemski, this is the first season where he's going to fight for minutes. And so far, I think he has earned them. Look, he's shooting 46%, 41.4 from three-point range, and has had a couple of big games that have pushed those stats in the positive direction. But, it's funny, in a game against Milwaukee where it's really up and down, I almost think that that's a game where I would have liked to have seen Pods start, because his energy is going to naturally help them more than someone like Post. If Post is hitting threes, then they're a really dangerous offense, but he's so hit or miss. You saw how good he was against the Clippers, and then you saw the ineffectiveness in other games from Quentin Post. To me, Pods is a more steady option, and I do wonder if Kerr, seeing some of the slow starts, on a night like tonight against Indiana, where they don't have a ton of 7-foot just athletic big you had to match up with Miles Turner, I do wonder if Pods is going to start tonight, because Kerr has said that it's either Podziemski or it's Post for the 5th. And you just have to choose whether you start small or start big. And I think he's decided to go big to not have to play Draymond at center.
888-957-9570. We're talking about the redhead for the out of the Golden State Warriors, one Brandon Podziemski. Kurt's in Oakland wants to chime in on the conversation. Hey, Kurt, welcome aboard.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. I mean, Pods is confident. You got to give him credit for that. He's very confident, and he puts in the work to try to get better. He's definitely not perfect. But people get upset because he's confident, and now they're upset because but other young players can act like that, and they think those players are the greatest things in the world. There's a fine line between confidence and overconfidence, and he's confident, but again, he puts in the work and he listens. And people don't get it. He puts the team first over his personal goals. And that's what you want from a young player. Look at OKC, for example. They have a lot of young players. They all put the team goals first over personal goals. If more young players did that, we'd have a lot more people, playing much better as younger players. But it comes with the territory, and people just hate it. They just love to hate Pods for some reason because he's not the player that they like. He's not flashy. He grinds. He struggles. They don't like that. But that sums it up. But we have a lot of Pods haters. It's nothing new.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
I got you, Kurt.
You know what? If I'm starting a new team, I'm a GM, I don't want him as, I don't want to have to rely on his scoring. I don't want to have to rely on him being a focal point in terms of getting me buckets and being one of the key players. But you win championships with guys like that. Usually, if you look at an NBA championship team, there's at least one, if not two, Brandon Podziemski types. Whether it's a Drew Holiday, whether it's one of those players that does, whether it's Smart with Boston back in the day, there's always those players that make the right basketball play, that are guys that and there's a reason why Steve Kerr as a coach feels confident in playing him. Again, I don't want to rely on this guy for giving me, big buckets from three-point territory, but usually guys and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but Brandon Podziemski is typically a winning basketball player that's willing to do it on both ends and take charges and steals and balance the floor. There's that connector word again, but it's guys like that you usually win with. And, I think every NBA team has a player like that, if not more, that is either winning championships or is in that conversation.
Well, that's the thing that I do think spits a little bit in the face of the irrational confidence is he doesn't strike me as a selfish player when you watch him play. Like he makes dumb decisions. There'll be the stupid Euro step or he'll get caught in the air. Maybe he doesn't make the extra pass once in a while. But large in part, I do trust that he's trying to make a winning play. And that's where someone like, I think watching Jimmy Butler has really opened up, it should have opened up people's eyes to what it takes on a possession-by-possession basis just to win the possession. Like, what do you have to do? Is it make a pass? Is it take a shot? Is it try and move in terms of help defense? Like, what do you have to do on each possession to help your team stack those to the point where you get a win? Jimmy Butler talks about it all the time. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing unless you're winning games. And to his credit, Brandon Podziemski has impacted winning more than he's impacted losing. And I think that's what you're talking about with typically there's players on a championship team that are like him. That's where I'm with you. It's not that he's the end-all, be-all, and I think he strikes people the wrong way sometimes because of a comment like, I could be the white Shohei, paraphrasing. It's like, well, no, you can't.
Yeah, but if you're not laughing at that, you're missing the whole.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but you can't take him seriously when he says something like that. It's really difficult to look at a guy and say, dude, okay, come on, man. You can want to be great at both. You could have been a good high school player. Maybe you could have played college, but like, dude, that's one of the most. It's like, I guess, I'm trying to think of a good athlete in baseball who's also a good basketball player. But it's like him saying, yeah, I could have been Steph Curry. It's like, all right, okay, come on, man. Like, yeah, you were a good shooter in high school, but like, what are we really talking about here?
Let's get out to Dave, who's hanging out in San Jose and wants to talk about Podziemski. Hey, Dave.
Hey, guys. Yeah, Pods, he is getting that Shohei Ohtani quote, just put me, over the line with him. As a former, as a Santa Clara alum myself, I loved the guy initially. Bronco making the NBA, loved his confidence, overachieving. But it's just going beyond that now, man. It's like he's trying to sell everybody on, I don't know, lack of a product that's not there yet. Not just the Ohtani thing, but the one that just did it for me was an article in the Merc at the start of the year. He said he wants to be the one that Steph and Draymond hand the dynasty to. And I'm saying to myself, dude, win the two job first. before you think about that. Average more than 8 points a game that you did in the Minnesota series before you get to that point. And at this point now, I think it's extending beyond self-confidence. It's like I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to create a narrative that is greater, that exceeds what we're seeing from him. And I think this is the piece that's starting to annoy fans, and it's got to be annoying the players. So interested in getting your guys' thoughts. Thanks.
Yeah, he's clearly a little delusional. But to me, it's sort of funny. I don't let it get under my skin. I guess I don't understand why it bothers people so much. Like, it is so silly, and it's becoming sort of his reputation, if you will.
Well, there's also the comparison between him and Kuminga, right? Which is when Kuminga says, I want to be an all-star, or I want to be, I want to be a multi-time all-star, that people are crushing him for it because it's like, dude, can you start first? And then when Pods says it, people are like, oh, that's kind of cute and funny. Like, oh, look at Pods.
But nothing he's doing is egregious. Would you agree?
No,
there's nothing.
All
it's
of
not
it's
like
harmless.
Draymond Green on a podcast with Kevin Durant throwing his coach and his GM onto the bus. There's nothing that is. There's no real verbal darts here directed at anybody on his team, and it's a little bit. Again, I think he's a little out of touch, but who the hell cares, man? It's sort of. I don't understand why it would bother people to the degree that it is. Ryan in San Jose, hang in there. But we want to take Ryan really quick. Pasta, you determine Ryan's fate.
It's your show, Pasta.
We got to go.
Oh,
damn, Ryan.
Man, that was not me, brother.
The
you got to
voice
hang
of
in,
God.
Ryan, because Pasta just put you on the shelf, buddy. Hang in there. We'll get to you and the rest of the callers, and we continue here on Warriors This Week.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th. New Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Want to reach your customers wherever they stream, scroll, or shop? With Amazon Streaming TV, online video, and digital display, your message appears on the biggest screens and the smallest devices. Backed by the Amazon Marketing Cloud, we deliver insights that show exactly what's working. From first impression to final purchase, real audiences, real results. Advertise smarter with Odyssey Digital Services and Amazon. Email sfdigital@odyssey.com today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Cool cars, cool people, good times. Cruise on out to the Good Guys 35th Fuel Curve Autumn Get-Together. November 8th and 9th at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. Over 2,500 of the Bay Area's coolest American-made and powered show cars and trucks of all years. Good Guys Autocross Racing action. A metal-crunching Hayward Firefighters Charity Demo Derby. Nitro Thunderfest and more. November 8th and 9th at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Be there. Details at good-guys.com.
I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. I slept in a lot of different rooms, but none of them really felt like mine.
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a permanent home.
Now I have my own room, a place that's mine, and a family who loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
I like OnlyFans. I don't read. Just an OnlyFans guy.
What is wrong with you?
It was supposed to be a joke. You know
what is wrong with you?
You know what?
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Is this Tupac?
This is definitely not Tupac. I like OnlyFans. All right. I like OnlyFans. You splice that together. I never said that.
Well, you did say I like only those 4 words. And you're not going to loom down, buddy.
All right, let's get out to the phone lines. Hanging in patiently because Pasta just simply said, you wait here. Ryan in San Jose. Hey, Ryan. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So about pods, I'm glad you guys are finally talking about this because I think it's long overdue. I mean, I don't care how confident he is, but it's his play that I just feel has never really warranted the playing time and the leash he gets. He's not like a above average defender. His shooting numbers are great, but he's not like a great scorer. He doesn't really assist a lot. He takes charges really, really well. He's a 1-year player out of college that had 1 year good, and then he didn't even see the floor before he transferred. So I just don't. I mean, he gets a lot of rebounds, too, for a guard. But we also have PJD riding the bench, and he's a phenomenal rebounder. But just, so I just don't understand. Could you ever see Pods? Could you ever see a championship team with Pods as the starting point guard or the starting shooting guard? It's just, there's no way. He is nowhere near the level of Drew Holiday, who is, one of the best, perimeter defenders. So I just don't get why Pods is on the floor so much. And that's pretty much all I got. Thank you.
Well, I guess to answer that question, and I'll put this to you, Ev, why do you think Steve Kerr values him so much? Because that's the reason why he plays.
I think it's because he amplifies the best players on the floor. Whether you want to call it a skill or not, he plays well with Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green. He just has. When Jimmy got here, him and Pods' two-man lineup was very impactful. He's always played well with Curry, and he's played well with Draymond because he does a little bit of everything. He's a master of none. Mile wide, inch deep, but he does a little bit of everything. On the team so far this year, he is 6th in plus minus. It goes Draymond, Jimmy, Post, interestingly enough, because he had that plus 34 game against the Clippers. Curry, Kuminga.
Well, wasn't that Post?
And then Pods. Yeah, Post. That's what I'm saying. He had the plus 34 game. That's why he's 3rd right now on the team.
Gotcha.
He impacts winning. I mean, that's just that's the reason why he plays. I'm with the caller that if Podziemski is one of your 2 starters, it's difficult for me to see the team making a deep run. But right now, he's coming off the bench. I actually think Podziemski's role on this team as a second unit facilitator, along with Jimmy Butler, getting a little bit of playing with Curry, a little bit of Draymond, and a little bit of everyone, that's his role, I think, for a team that I can see doing some things. If he's the starting 2, I kind of agree. At some point, I think you're going to get exposed a little bit. But if he's playing 25 to 30 minutes a game, he's coming off the bench, he's playing with everyone, and he's amplifying the best players on the team, which is a skill that has been proven over 2+ years he can do. That, to me, is where you can be successful as a team. That's why I think, to your point earlier, championship teams have players like Podziemski. Drew Holiday's a better defender. Even a Christian Brown with Denver is more athletic. But they're players that know how to make winning plays. And that's where Podziemski, I think, has caught Kerr's eye. That's why he plays as much as he does.
Yeah, and the caller's right. If he's going to be a starter, that means you're not a very good basketball team. He's got to have a limited, significant, well, it doesn't have to be significant, but a well-defined role. I can see him being a role player. Like OKC wins it last year. He's not Lou Dort, but there's always a Lou Dort type. Where we focus on Chet Holmgren, where we focus on SGA and Jalen Williams 1 and 2. It's the Lou Dorts of the world. Those are the guys that always make the good winning basketball type plays. BJ's hanging out in Virginia, wants to talk about Podziemski. Hey, BJ.
How you doing, my friend?
What up?
I'm doing fine. I enjoy your show. I'm going to make it brief as possible. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. Y'all talk about Pods and build him up. A lot of y'all. The boy just cannot play. I'm not using no excuse. I don't care who likes or not. He just can't play. The only thing he can do is take charges. When I played high school ball, I promise you, even in high school, I was with him. He's not a good player. Steve Kerr gave him 30, 35 minutes and stuff. But when Kuminga was playing, and we're playing bad, y'all tear him down every time you turn around. But now what's happening? But with Paul, he's just not a good player. There's no other way to look at it. That's all I have to say about it. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I think that's fascinating. Because he went Kuminga.
That's what I told you.
And the two are linked together. It's not so much Podziemski, but it's Podziemski along with Kuminga because people see him as the guy that's taken away minutes from Kuminga.
Or Moody. I mean, I would just say that the younger players on the Warriors, and this is a fair assessment or observation, it feels like all of the young players, except for Pods, have had to fight for their minutes, where he has been someone that's just been minutes abound. He's just got them. And I would argue that it's a little bit of a luck of the draw. Like when Pods came into this team in the last couple of seasons, they've had not very many guards, not very many good ones. And this year, I think he's playing fine. I don't know about you, but Pods can play. Is he a starter in this league? I would lean no on a good team, but he can clearly play. By the way, in college, if you want to go back that far, he led the WCC in rebounding. He averaged 19 and 10
He's a player of the conference.
His 1 year. And oh, by the way, he also led that conference, Dan, in three-point shooting. He shot 44% his 1 year in the WCC. So, Pods can play. Is he a guy that is going to get you beat also if he's starting? I think, I just don't know why there has to be such a one-way or this way view about some of the players on this team.
Well, I think you have to ask yourself, why does Steve Kerr play him? If you don't like Podziemski, are you saying, not you specifically, but those that don't like Podziemski, are you saying that Steve Kerr suddenly doesn't know basketball, can't assess talent, or just sees himself in Podziemski? Like, you have to ask yourself why a smart basketball guy like that, if Steve Kerr gives him run. And I think part of the reason is that as basketball fans, we focus on the ball in somebody's hands. Can he cross over? Can he dunk? Is he smooth? Can he shoot threes? Like, is he a big athlete? And we don't necessarily focus on the things that consume coaches like Steve Kerr. And it's winning basketball plays. And what are winning basketball plays? Where it's very nuanced. And it's not the flashiest, it's not the sexiest guy in the room when it comes to basketball and making basketball plays. And I think that's Podziemski. It's when the ball's on the other side of the court, he's putting a body on a guy. It's the little things of just simply getting the pass ahead on an outlet. It's just, those things that are valued by coaches that we typically as a fan, just following the ball and watching a guy and how many points he scores, sometimes don't focus on.
I mean, I also think, too, sorry, and we can go to the calls in a sec. I also think, too, you have to look at this season as different than last. I think a lot of people in their assessments of Podziemski or their assumptions about Kerr are based on what's happened in the past couple of years. And we've already seen the way that Kerr has approached everyone on this team differently than last year. Like, Podziemski has played the 5th most minutes on the Warriors. Butler's played more, Curry's played more, Kuminga's played more, Draymond's played more. Who else do you want playing more than Pods? Will Richard? Buddy Hield?
Give it time when it comes to Richard.
Will Richard's a good player, but this is going to be his 7th game in the NBA tonight, Dan. Do you want Pat Spencer playing more? Again, I'm just going down the list. Like, Moses Moody doesn't play on the ball as much as Pods. You need someone out there that can initiate the offense. And to his credit, like, I think that this role for Podziemski, which is coming off the bench and playing a lot with everybody, like, that's where he can be featured best. So, I don't know. I would just say give it some more time. And what he's doing right now is kind of where he needs to be.
Angelo's in San Francisco. Hey, Angelo.
Hey, how you doing? First of all, I love Pods. He's a great player. He's just a role player. And every time we go roll into somebody's city, I just see all of these quick twitch, long 6'3", 6'4" guards that I wish we had. Keon Ellis, Terrence Mann, and even the kid we just played last night. Unbelievable that we've got all these guards and we don't have a two-way guard. The only two-way guard that we have is one with a broken ACL, one that can play on defense and play on offense. I can't stand watching Pods come down the lane and have no athletic ability to break down the defense. And every time, the only people that we have to do that is Butler, Kuminga, and Curry, but no guard is able to do that outside of Steph. And it's ridiculous that we don't have guards that can break down the defense, and so we get stagnant every time he has the ball in his hand. He's a guard version of Draymond Green, which is fine, but it's not good enough.
Draymond Green's pretty good.
And DeAnthony Melton is coming. I think he was referencing DeAnthony Melton.
Yeah, no, when DeAnthony Melton is on this team, he's going to change the minutes, but you just heard there at the end, if he's a version of Draymond Green, he's going to play for this team. By the way, like the guards behind Pods are not better than him. I'm sorry. If you think that, then you just haven't been watching this team for the last couple of years. Buddy Hield is not better than Pods unless he's making a ton of threes, which is why he started in the playoffs last year, because he was making shots. When he's not, he hurts you. Like, GP2 is not going to play over Brandon Podziemski. Pat Spencer is not going to play over Pods. Will Richard is a rookie. He's not going to play over him. The only guy that's going to challenge for minutes, in my opinion, and should, is DeAnthony Melton. And until he proves he's got a new knee, TBD.
Yeah, he's often injured.
You're high as hell. If you I know people smoke early in the morning, Dan. I'm sorry.
Are we done with Pods?
Yeah, that's fine. We can move on.
I want to get into Draymond before we get out of here.
Oh, yeah, you got something for him. Now, reminder, he is a member of the Odyssey family. He is a podcast.
You're trying to diffuse my... my energy here. Let me just say this. And it's not about Draymond as much as it is about everybody involved, including the NBA. So we saw Draymond earlier in this week. And I love me some Draymond, but I always say this. I think I'm representative of a lot of people. Like, I love Draymond, and then there are times where it's just like, dude, too much. But he gets picked at half court, and then he has a hard foul on Salty Aldama. Remember this?
His name's Santi.
I call him Salty.
I know.
He goes after Aldama. And it's vintage Draymond, right? Hard foul. He's getting in the face of Jaren Jackson. And then he's dancing all over the court, right? Wasn't it just a year and a half ago where he was indefinitely suspended for this behavior? Wasn't it just a year and a half ago where his life was hanging in the balance because of this? Like, remember I was telling you about we're so consumed that we forget about what happened yesterday? Like, what happened where he came back and it was like, you're on double secret probation, man. No more of this. Because it was after he got suspended 5 games after getting Rudy Gobert in a WWE headlock. And then he goes after Nurkic. And then there was enough. You got to get. And I think it was the consensus. Everybody's like, yeah, something's wrong with this guy. Steve Kerr would do interviews where he's like, this isn't about basketball. It's about the man's life. Draymond Green gets on a podcast and tells everybody, I talked to Adam Silver about retiring. This is too much. This is just too much. Cut to a year and a half later, it's the same dude. All I'm saying is that's fine. But can we cut the crap and just be real? Draymond, you've got anger issues. You deal with rage. You're not alone in this world, but just admit it. That's who you are, and you ain't going to change at age 35. Maybe at some point, if you get help around the clock, you can minimally change your life, but you're always going to be that cat. And Steve Kerr, say what you will. We love you. But you're about wins and losses at the end of the day. And in terms of caring about this guy as a man, did you talk to him after what it is that he did to Aldama and say, hey, you're regressing. Remember, I want you to be a good human being. Does the NBA really care about Draymond Green, or does their bottom line is that we know he's entertainment, people watch, and we make money, and that's our bottom line at the end of the day? Can we just have the real conversation when it comes to Draymond Green? Because guess what? He's the same cat as he always was before the indefinite suspension and now after. What say you, Evan Giddings?
I'd say he hasn't choked anybody out yet. You know,
it's coming. There's going to be something.
Played Minnesota yet.
There's going to be something that's coming, and guess what? We're going to have to go through the same song and dance. Steve Kerr is going to do another awkward press conference where he's going to say in a somber tone, this is about a man. And it's just going to be such BS. And then Draymond is going to get on a podcast and be heartfelt and saying, there's some things wrong in my life and I need to change. And we're all going to sweep it under the rug. He'll come back and then he'll do it all over again. I'm just saying, let's have the real. Let's be on the real.
Well, I agree that Draymond Green isn't any different than he used to be, but I think he's made a more concentrated effort to not let that side of him out. Like he's been better at diffusing it.
I'm going to repeat. Did you see the Aldama foul?
It wasn't, in comparison, it wasn't that bad. This is it though. He's set such a high bar for some of these issues, these flagrants and ejectable offenses, that one actually didn't really cross my mind as being one that he should have got run for.
No, okay, you're right there. Because it was a hard foul, and back in the NBA...
I don't think he was suspended last year, by the way.
No, he was on his P's and Q's, but I'm just saying he's slowly, as it gets smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror, the more you're beginning to see the return of the real Draymond and the same Draymond. It's coming. It's like they say in Chicago. You know what they say in Chicago when the weather is turning and winter's right around the corner? The locals in Chicago say, the bear's coming, man. The bear's coming. That means winter's right around the corner. Draymond's
coming.
The old Draymond's coming. The Bear's coming. You're right. That was just a hard foul. And back in the 80s and the 90s, getting back to Michael Jordan's insights to excellence, that's the way they play. That was just a hard foul. And so the guy, but his antics afterwards, his I don't care. I'm Draymond Green and I'm nuts. I'm telling you, another either Nurkic, because he likes the international guys, he's going to do something because we're headed right back to the old Draymond.
Well, I don't know if we can call it the old Draymond because it's still him. It's just Draymond. That's who he is. I also he goes after people that he knows he can get in their heads.
Yeah, that's a bullet. Oh, I thought you said guys that he knows that he can.
Yeah,
that are not going to retaliate.
Well, no, but guys that he knows are not going to be able to handle it. Like, to me, that's also
That's the definition of a bully.
Well, it's also, but this is professional sports. Like, he's trying to gain a competitive advantage. If you're going to try and win a game, and I can get in your head by doing it.
Okay, getting in your head
might be weak to some, but to others, it's like win at all costs.
Getting in your head is one thing, but are you of the belief that he goes after guys where he knows there's not going to be any retaliation? Hence the international guys, right? Like, what's Aldama going to do?
Well, he used to go after like Blake Griffin.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't necessarily subscribe.
Now, he was a better defensive player back then, and I think he knew he could back it up.
I mean, he kicked Steven Adams in the junk, who might be the toughest guy in the NBA.
Yeah, but he also knows that Steven Adams is Steven Adams is the guy who finishes the fight. Yeah. He's not the one who starts it. So I actually think that Adams is like kind of a pacifist. It feels like it.
I think you might be right.
Like, he's the guy that steps into every single scrum and everyone just backs up. Like, they know that he's the toughest dude in any confrontation. But you're right. Draymond's not going to change. Draymond hasn't changed. Draymond's the same dude. And the Warriors might get in trouble for it. But I do think that last year was a good sign in a step towards, all right, he's going to get ejected from games. He's going to pick up texts. I don't think that he was unavailable for a game. I could be wrong about this. I don't think he was unavailable for a game because of how many texts he picked up. But he was teetering. And if they had gone further in the playoffs, that might have been an issue. But that's what you get when you got Draymond Green and you take the good with the bad. So I also think, too, that the suspensions, I don't think the NBA has got the guts anymore to hit him with one. Like, he was out indefinitely for some time because he just could not prevent himself from doing something stupid. I think those days, while they're not, he's still that guy, but I think those days are behind.
You don't think he can go back there? Like getting caught up in the heat of a moment of a tight game that he just... didn't we almost see with Torrey Eason, I want to say? Didn't Torrey Eason, he like... in the playoffs against Houston, that's when it gets ratcheted up and they both hit the floor and he had that kick.
Oh, yeah, he almost got him. But again, like, because he's been a habitual line stepper for his entire professional career, when he does something like he did against Aldama, you're kind of like, yeah, that's not that bad. You know, Draymond's kicked a guy in the gonads several times. Draymond's done a spinning back fist into Yusuf Nurkic. This is not really that flagrant. You know, so he gets the benefit of the doubt because of his past transgressions.
I just think another one's coming because it's slowly, it's because nobody is, there's no, I mean, what happened to counseling? I guess that's over with. I mean, like, what happened on a change? Like, I'm just saying, like, there's nobody reminding him, hey, let's not go back to where you, I think
Jimmy's quietly that guy. And he's not necessarily like he's going to prevent Draymond from, hey, don't hit that dude. But I just think that, like, for all of Jimmy Butler's off the court issues or whatever you want to call it, he's pretty stoic on the floor. Like, how many times can you remember since he's joined Golden State, or just in general, Jimmy Butler legitimately losing his cool in a game?
He's wired.
And I think it's because he values winning above all else. But to me, having that kind of player on the floor is like it has an impact. And I think that Draymond is a guy, he's naturally going to lose it. There's going to be a game where he gets himself tossed. But when when that fire begins to start boiling, I think Jimmy Butler being there, just like, dude, calm down. It's almost like what Klay Thompson used to be. Like, Klay it's just out there like, come on, man, let's go play ball. I think Jimmy's got a little bit of that to him.
So you don't think you and I will be doing a show?
Oh, we will.
I'm talking about Draymond Green going back to being, yeah, you're right. Draymond's always been the same, but you don't think that Draymond Green right now is capable of doing what it is that he did to Gobert or Nurkic again? Because I think that show is imminent.
Imminent? Well, I guess we're going to find out. Wait, who does... Oh, no. Nurkic plays for...
We'll see. No, it won't be Nurkic because he'll be on his...
Nurkic plays for Utah.
He'll be on his best when it comes to... It's going to be somebody else, like an Aldama. Somebody's going to... Like a Zach Edey's going to do something.
What do they got coming up?
Like he knows he can't go after Gobert. He knows about Nurkic. He knows about, like...
Not a lot of international guys on the Pacers.
It's going to be somebody that... And it's going to be bad.
Well, it could be Wednesday in Sac against Sabonis.
I'm tired. He already did Sabonis.
He's already done Sabonis. Who's going to be his next victim? No, I actually don't see a lot of guys coming up on the schedule.
How about the guy from Portland, Zhang Charles? What's the guy's name?
Young Hansen?
Young Hansen.
The 19-year-old 7-footer. No, it might be a guy. I think there was someone on the Spurs. No, Spurs are good. But so Svi Mikhailuk. Who does he play for? The little lefty?
It'd be nice to see Draymond if he really is the tough guy, which I do think he is.
It'll be against New Orleans.
I like this. Yeah. Or it'll be against Memphis because he doesn't like Memphis.
I think I don't know if they play Memphis coming up. I'm just looking at the next team that he could do something like that against. Oh, here we go. Well, he's not international, but if he plays, Draymond's going to be in his grill. Hunter Dickinson. 7-footer out of Kansas.
Oh, that guy.
Pretty weak.
Yeah.
Draymond's going to be in his grill.
That's Dre fodder for
if he's
sure.
If he's on the floor, he is food. I don't care if he's 7'1". Draymond
pretty weak.
Draymond goes after the guys too. He's just like, I don't care if you're taller than me, if you're bigger than me. You're soft as hell.
I'm just I think it's going to get ugly again, and we're going to have to see Steve Kerr once again just hem and haw and tell me how he's going to change as a man. All right.
Shocked you talking to me.
By the way, welcome to the Odyssey family, Dre. 2 podcasts a week, the Draymond Green Show. Can't wait for the next one.
I do like the podcast. All right.
You actually do.
I'm probably the one guy who's actually
You listen to more of the
podcast.
Draymond Green Show than anybody else I know, which is maybe why you probably know his tendencies
What
better
do
than I
you?
do.
So what do you got going tonight?
Tonight, I'll be watching Game 7. You want to catch it?
Are you hanging on to the Fu Manchu, the mustache for a while? I like it.
Why not? Well, I got it.
What do you think, Pasta? Look good?
I think it looks good.
I mean, it fits you with the beanie.
I guess the argument for not hanging with it is to grow the beard back, and to do that, you have to shave that, right?
That's true. Well, the issue is I'm going to keep it for a couple days. I might go do some Halloween thing tonight. So I was Bob Ferguson from One Battle After Another, and with the shades on, it makes more sense. But it's kind of like a revolutionary.
Well, why are you doing Halloween things on November 1st?
I don't know, because there might be a party.
Is that the way it works? Like Halloween carries over into November?
Well, I might do it. I also might not, and I kind of like having a handlebar. But I got to get rid of it before the next Warriors home game. I might shave it off, but definitely before Friday, because next Friday is when I do my first St. Mary's men's basketball game on ESPN Plus, and so we have to do like a stand up, and we have
are they like the
shots.
Yankees? No facial hair?
No, but. Imagine the first home game of the season for the Gales. You turn on and there's the 2-minute open. They're like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
It's the guy from the movie.
They might think I was an Aussie.
Oh, that works.
Yeah,
they love them
like
Aussie fans. All right, jeez. From my man Pasta and we don't have Caddy Zach today. Where's Caddy? Caddy's in Brooklyn. All right, and Evan Giddings, who's going to hang on to Halloween for another night. Are we saying what? Go Jays tonight, or what are we doing?
Oh, Canada,
glorious and free.
Yes, we're on the Jays.
That'll do it for us. Warriors this week. We'll see you back here next Saturday. So long, everybody. This is Dan DeBone saying so long, everybody.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank